Hey folks, how are we doing? So we're about to start the 5th anniversary live stream, and I figured we'd try and do it this way. If it doesn't work, we can always just bail and go back to the main live stream. I thought it might be fun to hang out and do it together. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to be getting the link and stuff and tweeting it, or not tweeting it, but sending it out to people. Hopefully I'm sure many people are on that stream, but I think this might be a cool place to come have our own little chat as we watch together. Like I said, we're just hanging out for another couple minutes here. I don't want to put on any music. I know it's quiet. I don't want to put on any music or anything because then it's more clicks and I might screw something up. So if you're hanging out with us, let me know in the chat. It's a lot easier to know I'm not talking to myself. We've only got a couple more minutes here. I'm pretty excited to see what they've got for us today, actually. Gotta be some info, maybe the next set. Probably hold Dull Worlds on that, I would bet, but we will see. Once this, so it says, yeah, 1 p.m. We're there. Let's see here. Not yet. All right, so I was at the Gungai had its ProQuest yesterday. Aurora ended up taking that one down, which is pretty cool. It's a lot of pretty high tier play yesterday. I was pretty impressed. So you all cannot see, oh, because I minimized it, that's why. Don't worry, once we get started, I won't make mistakes like that, I promise. But they are late. Behind schedule. But that's okay. This is going to be awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me today as we watch this. I have no idea what's in store, but it should be pretty cool. And like I said, if this stream doesn't work, then we will do something else. Who we got on today? Let me know in the chat. Damon, what's up, man? Actually, let me know in the chat, what do you think we're gonna get today? I mean, obviously the first little bit's gonna be celebration and looking back, but there's gotta be some announcements somewhere, right? So tell you what I am gonna do. I am gonna take a 30-second break and I will be back in, well, 30 seconds. Keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. Oh, I didn't miss anything. But this feels more right, so. Playing disc golf right now. Give us Lexi. I am very curious. Because they've already given us a lot of, like, spoilers and stuff. Well, not spoilers, but hints at the future. Be very interesting to see what we do here. Why did you go away? Why did you go away? Did it change on me? I'll fix it, I promise. I just went full screen. Trying to go full screen for y'all. Bro, it was just working. I'm doing everything the same. That's right, we got time to get her fixed now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But it's working again. I don't know what I did. It's working now. All right, I got it working. How about I just stop screwing around? How's that sound? Stop screwing around? Sounds like a good idea. Oh, except then I can't read your chats. That's the problem. Yeah, I know, Andrew. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. I decided about 20 minutes ago to make a thumbnail and sit down and do this, so you can see that there's plenty of planning that went into this one. But I was like, hey, instead of watching a live stream with a chat that you can't read because millions and millions of people all have an opinion, let's just hang out here where it's a smaller community and you can actually say something without getting yelled at. Well, I guess I can't promise that. Man, I was in such a rush to get done by 1 o'clock. It looks like I had plenty of time. Don't worry, we're all set up now. I've got everything in a spot. Ooh. Oh, now I got a countdown. There we go. All right. I needed them to go live so that we could go. I needed them to go live so that we could go full screen. But now we're cooking. How is the volume is the question. Because I can hear volume and control it on my side, but if the noise is too loud, I can control desktop. So please let me know how the volume is on your side. All. Hey, Geeks First. It is a tad loud, yeah. Does not surprise me, so let's do this. Okay, how's that? I dropped it by 5 decibels. Is that better? I'll keep talking so you can... Oh, but now you can't see the thing. But that's an easy fix. Perfect volume for you now. Okay. Rockin'. And also, to be fair, once they go live and they start talking, the volume could be different than when they're playing music. So, Armed Pit. Here we go. It's go time. There's our heroes. All right.
Dude, let's go! You made it! Welcome to your first Flesh and Blood Armory.
Thanks, man. I'm really excited. I just need a couple more cards, though, so.
Oh. I can help with that. Dorinthea, a masterful warrior with flourishes of glistening steel.
Hey, that's my
that
girl.
Can run through any defense.
She sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, okay, and she's your hero.
Cool. Where do I start?
Looks like you are 2 seats over, which means... Oh my god, dude, you're playing.
Ha. The card ripples. There you go.
Oh, Dory, this will be fun.
Dude, how'd it go?
He got it. But it was 1-to-1, it was super close. It's just so hard to block physical and arcane damage. Brody's really cool.
Oh, dude, Brody's the best, but 1-to-1? Are you kidding me? That's awesome. You totally got the next one. I mean, it literally can't get... Oh, no.
Ha, nice.
Block with my arm piece.
Yeah.
Right goes through my arm into my chest. That blocks for 2. Through my collarbone into my head. Block for another 2. And for 3.
Take 5?
So that still hurts me a lot then. I mean, I'm getting destroyed, but this is really pretty art, right?
Dude, how'd it go?
I got her down low, but she got there. She made me break my equipment, and then the floodgates just opened. But she gave me a lot of really good tips for my next match.
That's great. You've been pairing into straight up, like, killers.
I'm gonna knock him down next week, though.
Uh-oh, Pablo.
They're not prepared for.
¿Cómo? Imposible.
Attack with Dawnblade. Oh. Glint the Quicksilver. Gain to go again. Draw. Twinning Blade.
Nice. Seismic pops, and I will attack you with a Macho Grande. 8, and it has Dominate. You can only block with 1 card from your hand.
What about from Arsenal?
Nice. But I have a Pamo.
Good game. Let's go again.
A night at the Armory complete. Shout out to my boys at 3 Floating. Just incredible stuff from those guys, as always. I felt like I was watching Netflix for a while there, watching Jacob get beat up so badly. I'm very used to that, but not in that context. So, great to see so many friends, so many old faces, and that is, of course, what today's all about. 5th anniversary of Flesh and Blood, our celebration stream. You ever been in that situation where you're walking in the armory and it's just a murderer's row of killers ready to take you down? I'm sure early days in Auckland, that's what you face time after time.
Hey, my first armory, I think I had to play against Kayo and Matt Rogers back to back. So that definitely brings back memories of that. I think you were there, Kieran. I'm not sure if it was your first armory.
It might have been, you know, Kayo, not a man who's afraid to tell you of how easily he's going to beat you. But I love that promo. I love, like, you know, showing up the results and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then the samurais, the whole collection of sunflower samurais. And that's what it's like when you're at the Pro Tour and you just see them slowly start to fill in behind whichever samurai is dominating the tournament this go around, because there's always one in contention. So just incredible stuff. Shout outs to our boys over at 3 Floating. Shout outs to everyone, all of our incredible pros who showed up in that ad. I saw a lot of familiar faces in the background, and yeah, that's what the vibe is. You head to an armory, you get that kind of support, you build up, you find your way, and next thing you know, you're taking down the greats of the game. You're taking down the Yuki Lee Benders, the Brody Spurlocks, the Pablo Pintors, and we just keep adding more and more to our menagerie of either heroes or villains, depending on what side you're on. It's so cool to see them take on the cinematic, larger-than-life feel.
It was so cool, and it reminds me of, like, some of the stories you see pop up from Fab events as well, like of people, you know, travel to a bunch of different pro quests. I feel like Brody's pretty notorious for this. It's really cool though. Someone's like, man, I'm just playing my 16-person pro quest in my small town, and guess who's showing up? And it's like round 1, Brody Spurlock.
I definitely felt that at my first armory.
Oh, I just realized I was on mute.
Jacob
You said
Pearson has just won the calling.
that you saw a hero
he lends me a
that
team
you haven't
very
seen
nice
before.
of him, but
That's
I'm
very
like, I don't
interesting.
have CNCs or E-strikes, and then for the week, I'm just versing like Kale, I'm versing Matt Rogers, I'm versing all of these like heavy hitters, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is
I was
so
expecting
intimidating,
JW here,
like,
but I will
such a good
absolutely take
learning
Brian all day
experience as
long.
well.
I love that you mentioned the lone tunic, right? Because it is challenging, it's intimidating. But the thing I have loved more than anything in this 5 years with the Flesh and Blood community is that they work with you. They guide
So
you
nice,
through it.
so
they,
nice.
they help. They show you the way. And yeah, it's going to be some tough matches early on. But when you turn that corner and you start getting those W's, there's kind of no other feeling like it in all of gaming. The level of talent, dedication, success it takes to succeed at Flesh and Blood, it just pays you dividends when you're there.
that
at the
volume
table and
change was
finally
not
getting
me.
those W's.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, I've seen so many stories online about people saying, you know, I always bring a couple of extra decks to my local armory, and like a new player showed up, and we had 4 different locals be like, hey, do you want to play this, 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 and this? Which is just...
They'll lend you their deck, then they'll smash
Beat you unmercifully.
You know, you wouldn't want me there. It's like, I've got 4 different Victor decks you can
Let me know
choose
if you can
from.
hear them talking okay. It did get a little quieter.
I love that ad. It was just hype. It was so hype.
Otherwise, I'll
That's
leave
the
it where
thing,
it
it's
is.
like it's might seem like far-fetched at first that all those people would be at an armory, but so many tournaments you go to and every one of these people is there.
Right before the World Championships, probably the Japan armories are popping off just like that, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I will be there. I will report back to you. I'll let you know. I'll be the one just getting beat up unmercifully.
Do not complain to Brian while you're there.
I would
That's
tune
good.
into
I like
that,
that advice.
vlog or blog or whatever you could get going, you know.
Maybe a little little backpack streaming.
Yeah.
Right, what would your achievement sheet be? Would have said
Brief.
casted 14 events.
Very brief. It would be a brief achievement sheet. You know, I came to work on Flesh and Blood after I had been playing for about 2.5, 3 months, maybe.
Yep.
And very quickly was just not allowed to play anymore. So I believe I have a Road to Nationals win.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I have won a skirmish, so I'm on a couple roll of honors, and
Better than me.
I have a ProQuest top 4 as well. Like one of the first actual, maybe even the first. I think at the time it was just being called a PTQ in the U.S. It was at one of the first SCG cons after we had come out.
So
of
this is just a
lockdown.
hangout for right
And I
now.
played my first ever competitive Flesh and Blood event. Everything's going really smoothly. I'm feeling great. And then I get to the top 8 somehow, you know, very little knowledge. I have my first round of draft. I crush it again. I played to a perfectly pitch stacked lightning press to win in the last possible turn as Lexi in Tales of Aria draft. And I'm like, smooth sailing. This is easy. These fools don't know anything about this game. I got this massive. And then I ran into somebody who had been playing from the beginning. It was world's top 8 competitor, Matthew W. And we played in the top 4, and he rinsed me. He said, I spoke to him afterwards, like years later, and he said, "You made me think a few times. It was actually a really good game," which I took as credit here somehow. So,
You know, bro, my first experience of you in the Fab World was back when I was in Premier OP and we were like sorting out some of the first rounds of the American callings, and we were just kind of figuring out like, okay, who do we want to cast these events? And then they're like, oh, we've just contacted like Brian and Craig, I think it was. My first reaction was like, who's this Brian guy?
it's everyone's first reaction.
I was like, I think I've heard of him maybe from some other games or whatever. But then I listened to your cast and I was like, he's actually really good. It's great.
Top 4 is a PDQ.
I was looking him up. Oh wait, is that? Bro, I gotta let be top 4 to ProQuest. Yeah, get him in.
The little stat sheet comes up just like in the commercial. It's just displaying behind my head. A lot of great stories to tell today. We're going to talk a lot about the history of Flesh and Blood. But of course, we couldn't have gotten to this point without some losses along the way. And there have been some sad moments throughout the history of Flesh and Blood. And I think just before we kick things off, before we get into the pure celebration, it is only fitting that we take a few moments to remember folks who we have lost along the way in this journey. So please.
Sneaky, sneaky. Sorry, Damon. That was your Lexi.
Sorry. It's been hard. It's been hard watching some of these heroes go. And I know for some of you, some very close personal associates of yours on that list, anyone stand out that you just truly miss with all your heart?
Prism.
I think
Prism. Played a lot of Prism.
Of course. For me, it would probably be Lexi. I think Lexi was a close one to my heart. And Dromai as well.
I can Starvo.
Let me know in the chat, who did you lose? Who of those heroes did you lose?
A lot of heroes LL'd when I was actually here, but
over the LLs.
Fun, man. It was such a fun hero.
Dromai, Lexi,
You know,
Icelander.
I haven't really had to deal with a lot of loss in Flesh and Blood because I'm an Arachne main, so I'm good forever. Like, I really have nothing to worry about.
I can never
Till
be hurt.
Till the end of time, I will have my full suite of heroes ready and available
Geeks first.
to
You
go.
can still play
And
them in
as
LL.
long as that's the case, I feel very, very good at showing up to a local armory and just being like, yeah, there's my Arachne.
That was
deck. I
funny,
haven't
though. It
changed
was
in
good
2
shtick.
years. It'll be fine. What's got to change? Everything's just as it was meant to be.
Nothing like that bit of comfort knowing that your deck is going to be the same in 7, 12 years.
Yeah.
Although in saying that, Azuri, Shoma taking out Pro to Amsterdam, racking up a lot of points there. So maybe not all your assassins.
As joyous of an occasion as that was for myself and Shoma, and getting to share the stage with Shoma in that moment was just incredible. Seeing his reaction to the Pro Tour winning Azuri. There was, for the first time, that moment of, that's a lot of living legend points to pick up all at once. Like, I would kind of prefer we did it a little bit slower, but I guess I really don't have space to complain given how slow the march has been for assassins. At
I was talking to Brian right afterwards, and I was thinking, like, maybe there's a few too many LL points to the Pro Tour.
Just tone it down. Let's tone it down a little bit. Like, we don't need to be so drastic.
Maybe this should just be 10 or 20, But like honestly, the LL system was just thinking. Particularly, you brought up Prism and seeing that there.
Oh, are we gonna get our LL system update?
So close to LL as well, and I think it might have been at the calling of Pro Tour New Jersey. No, the calling attached to that event. I think that's where Prism LL'd, right? Like the guy won the calling on it and pushed it just over the
calling,
edge.
yeah.
I believe that's right anyway, but it's so cool when you get to these events and one of your heroes that you're so attached to is in there in like the top 8 or the top 4 and you're rooting for them, but then in the back of your mind you're like, I wouldn't be gutted if they lost this match, just in case.
Yeah, similar case with Dromai. I think that was a big
Well, again,
one.
thanks for all of you hanging out with me.
Dromai would have gone anyway, but like I love
Just watching.
that finish for a hero.
Hanging
I
out.
love like a
Iconic.
the grandiose exit in a way, and I think that was
Ascending.
Especially with Dromai. Like Dromai was the hero that struggled to close through a lot of her time.
super
in CC.
popular.
Yeah.
Super popular.
Incredibly popular. Almost always the most represented deck.
That's
even
right,
in
Sarah,
moments
you
where
were
it
an
was
Icelander.
incorrect
That's
for
right,
her
I
to
forgot
do
about
so.
that.
She was just always present.
Yeah, so often we'd look at the metagame breakdown, we're like, surely people are not going to bring Dromai this time. Like they probably
Always,
learned.
always.
A lot of those LLs were actually like it was just one in the top 8 in a field of like bad matchups, and somehow they like climbed to the first place.
Yeah, because I feel Dry, you guys are right, struggled to close for a little bit. It's like, oh, Dry's made the top 8 time for a first round exit or whatever. And then I remember looking at that top 8 breakdown, I'm pretty sure Arthur had to go through like 2 KOs or something on the way,
KO,
which
Dorinthea was
maybe thought to be one of the
Yeah,
slightly
Dash.
tougher matchups.
Some of them
Dash
dropped
is on
like
her way
past
for
both
sure.
in
I
the
think both.
first turn.
I think both had turn 1 cast bonus, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and the second one is like Kassai too. I'm like, all right, wrap it up, it's over. But Arthur had something to say about that. But
Do we think
it's
Zen
one
still
of
has
the
legs is the
system.
question.
So cool.
Yeah, and now we have Dash IE in a similar position right now, right? Like it only takes one weekend of a big pro quest finish. Thus far, the metagame not really looking like it's exactly in Dash IE's wheelhouse. So maybe going to go ahead and make it to Worlds, and it could be the type of thing where, you know, a Dash IE creeps into the top 8. Are they going to get the same kind of send-off that Dromai did? Dromai didn't actually LL with that win, but was virtually assured to LL the next week and got a very, very nice send-off.
Yeah, I mean, Dash, you're right. Like, there's probably a lot of eyes on Dash IO with the upcoming Armory deck and stuff coming out. But you got to hand it to these OG Dash players. They always find a way, right? There's always there's like a new build. It's like the hybrid, the super aggro. I remember at Worlds a couple years back. There was
Slab Dash.
Yeah, the slab
So
dash.
when
came
Rinrock,
through.
Sarah
This
on here is
really
also
big. I was
an
expecting to
Azalea
see
main.
do so well. So really interesting. I'm sure there's some Dash players out there. I know Sam Sutherland from Australia is a big Dash player as well. Probably nervously watching the ProQuest points tick up. On there on Twitter, oh, don't play Dash. It's not the right meta.
Yeah, hoping for just one more run. But that is the joy and the pain of the Living Legend system. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So 5 years of Flesh and Blood. It's brought a lot of stories, a lot of amazing scenarios, also a lot of questions, a lot of lore, a lot of mystery around the game. And we thought, what better opportunity to go ahead and unveil some of those mysteries.
Here we go.
Then this 5th anniversary stream. Let's do it.
Here we
by
go.
A little trivia. We have a bunch of trivia questions we want to ask folks today. We're going to work through all of these, but in the end, we're going to have one specific trivia question that will be a giveaway. I'll give you a heads up when we're headed to that one. But for the time being, we're just going to go ahead and look at chat. We're going to present these questions, and we're going to see if anyone in chat can go ahead and come up with the correct answer here. So let's kick things off with our first question.
I believe this is
It
Arcane
posits
Rising,
question,
I think.
Which Flesh and Blood set was the first
Could be Monarch,
to
though.
be designed? Now this feels like maybe a potential gotcha here. Obviously, we know
I
the
think it's
first
Arcane
one-
Rising.
They might look very simple on the surface.
We know the first set to be released. That's unquestionable. Was it in fact the first set to be designed? Monarch, a popular answer.
I'm gonna be jotting
Monarch,
down
Crucible.
my
I'm
answers
seeing
as
some
well. See
Crucibles.
It's not Crucible.
Arcane Rising. Now I feel like that's quite a spicy one. Yeah.
Any Tales of Aria in
I
there?
feel like-
Elderfest that we worked on.
Yeah, it's interesting to see people throwing out some interesting theories out there. The Tales of Aria.
This seems like a very simple question.
That's funny. Did I just spot a
Rising?
Did I just spot a Chris Gehring in the chat?
I'm gonna say
TCG.
something. I'm gonna say something that someone in the chat definitely got it right. So I'm just I won't spoil too much just yet. But yeah,
So I have a question for you, Brian.
Everfest. Now that is a spicy one.
So is Mr. TCG? Is he live to win some of these prizes?
I think Monarch is a legit answer, Sarah, from a
We have like some
like
Rosetta in there.
lore
as well.
standpoint, but I don't.
I like the
think
someone guessed
talent
shout
first,
out
but
to
maybe.
Ginger Billy who guessed Uprising. That is definitely a spicy take.
Oh, Uprising.
Everfest is not necessarily one I would pick, but
Gotta be
first
art,
set
right?
that I worked design on
Yeah,
best
Luis,
set
you're
in
with me,
Dynasty.
man.
Indisputable best set. I'm sure many people guessing that.
Released the best hero.
Tell us the answer.
Absolutely. Arachne made its appearance in the metagame for the first time with Dynasty. All right, why don't we go ahead and let's spoil it. What, in fact, was the first Flesh and Blood set to be designed? Can we put this to rest forever? Yeah, it's WTR. Why was this a question? Why is this so hard?
Come on, guys. Most of you got it wrong.
It's
Fair
just
enough.
crazy, like the life these rumors take on. And I think I saw this, it was fairly recent, like a week or two ago, somebody posting that just like, yeah, Monarch was absolutely the first set to be designed. And I'm just like, where did this come
Yeah, there was
from?
like
I mean, I could see
very like strong.
I mean, Arcane has to be a
theory
fundamental thing within
you know,
the game
they
to make it
released
work, right?
talents, but it was just a little bit too complex at the time, too complicated, so they toned it back and went.
Luis, you and I,
Welcome to
we're
Rathe
wrong.
Uprising first.
A little background as well. It's kind of funny because, you know, when we're trying to think of some fun trivia questions, I think it was Mr. TCG himself, Chris G, suggested I should ask which fab set was first to be decided. And we're like, Chris, that's a dumb question. Like, it's Welcome to Rathe. He's like, I bet you everyone will say Monarch.
Honestly, like that was before we joined LSS. I straight up believed that. I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like,
But like, do you guys know where this came from? Like,
I have no idea.
don't,
But
like-
someone said it very confidently, and
I have
feel
seen
like
it said
just-
confidently many times.
I remember just at some of the very early events just playing, and I guess just talking to James, and he was talking about, you know, like some of the first sets we designed, we just wanted there to be some strong cards and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Welcome to Rathe. But I guess maybe the Monarch thing, it kind of makes sense because I feel Monarch was maybe what was like a huge explosion in popularity fab. I feel maybe initially came with Monarch, so maybe that, I don't know, people just got into their head it was the first one.
I remember before, like spoilers of Monarch, like as Monarch got announced, that's when the kind of rumor started. I remember like seeing that around even I think it was just before we joined LSS.
Here's where I guess I'm just seriously just a guess. One thing I found, the more I write on behalf of LSS, the more I speak on behalf of LSS. Every single word you say carries a mountain of weight. Like, people just take it as, you know, undeniable gospel, and it influences rumors, it influences perception. I suspect that at some point James said the first part of Flesh and Blood he put together was rooted in talented heroes.
I think that, I think that makes sense.
And that kind of, if you were to carry that forward, points to, oh, then Monarch was the first thing designed. It's very different, though, just kind of throwing out ideas and seeing what works versus designing a set. So I wonder if that's the genesis of this. Maybe when we have James in later on today, which we will, we're going to have
there we go.
Q&A from you fans out there. We can ask him to clarify a little bit. But
Does anybody
that's my
know-
best guess at this point.
Anybody know how long this is supposed to
Great
go?
job, Brian. You just spread another rumor.
Right. More rumors. You can't stop them. They're
I was
unbeatable.
thinking, you know,
I like
must be
assumed
nice
an hour,
when my
but-
words are so important. They carry so much weight. No one listens to me, man. All I get is that you remember the DG.
Yeah, people listen to that, though. Like, you made a difference. You made a difference in Heart the Misfell Limited. All your
Someone
words
somewhere out there
They had a
didn't
little
get it.
classic in their head. Just don't
Didn't
forget
get
the
into trouble
DG.
because they remembered. the
Maybe I
DG.
helped someone make top 8 at Pro. That's a rumor we can spread, right?
Sure, I like that rumor. All right, let's take another question. Let's head on to the next one here. How many cards are in a Welcome to Rathe booster pack? Next question, chat. What do you think?
16.
Have you opened Welcome to Rathe? Have you opened Welcome to Rathe Alpha? I have exactly
100%
once
16.
at maybe U.S. Nationals. I'm actually not sure now. Some event I went to, I was invited to participate in a WTR Alpha draft. It's the only time those 3 packs are the only WTR Alpha packs I've opened. I'm sure you folks being here in Auckland, I hear all the time about how privileged you are and how you have stacks of first edition sitting
But
around.
yeah, actually, in the chat, if you've opened an alpha pack,
Oh, yeah,
let us know.
So
I have.
One
I
time
have.
I opened. Alpha
I opened an
One
alpha
Wraith
box, but it
was-
was
I was
just
just getting started
normal.
with Flesh and Blood, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll try get my little sister involved. Maybe she'll like pick it up, you know, be like a little prodigy type thing. So I pulled out a box. We open, do some sealed. You know, we open half the box, and like 10 minutes in, she's like, I don't get this. I'm not really about it, and just leaves, leaving me with like all this like opened Welcome to Rathe.
Alpha.
Yeah, fast forward 2 weeks, that's when all the prices start like booming. I was just like, wow, that was like $5,000 that I could have had in my pocket, right?
$5,000 sealed session, worth every penny.
Garrett was talking to his little sister, so do you want to do like some sort of installment payment plan? Yeah, I remember like, back in the day it was just everywhere, and there'd be people who would just like open it, take like just the foil or the Majestics, whatever, leave the rest on the table.
Look at you, Sarah, doing your homework.
Like a pink sink below.
Early
armories,
early armories, people would just be like, oh, that's just like draft chaff, like chuck it out. I remember trying to like fish out some foil yellow zipper hits and stuff.
Even when I just started in crew,
I don't
was
want to start
going
poking
through
around
bulk
on my
boxes at
computer that'll
Hobbymaster,
screw
and
up
I
the
was like,
stream.
these are all alpha cards, and it's just like this giant bulk box of just alpha cards. I was like, people just leave this stuff here.
Yeah.
So much of that stuff didn't even make it to the U.S. Like it is there, but it's in such small amounts.
Yeah, because I didn't open a ton of boxes, but I opened some back in the day. And I remember I think I won some event and I got like 3 boxes. And I think I was a poor student, so I sold one to Tom Penny, our fellow dev. And he's like, I just got a good feeling about this. And I was like, okay.
Oh man,
he's
there's a
playing Dorinthea,
CC
and
game.
then
Oh
immediately
man.
opens Braveforge Sprays is what you needed. I'm like, okay.
Hopefully it goes
Then I opened
fast.
the last box and got a Cold Foil Mask, and I'm like, I love this game.
Two main forever.
Yeah.
I remember buying like foil pink sink belows for like $3 each and being like, I got a good feeling about these.
Good choices all around. How many cards, though, are in a Welcome to Rathe booster pack? It is, in fact, 16. It has remained consistent number of cards present in booster packs. Of course, there's tokens. Expansion slots.
There was only a token though in
Kept the
WT,
size
not 2.
consistent as far as the main sets go. All right, another question. Let's take a little bit more trivia. How many draftable Flesh and Blood sets exist? This one very easily provable, but having now been present for many of these draftable Flesh
So
and
there's
Blood
what,
sets,
14 minus 3, 11?
getting a lot better at it,
Right?
honestly. Like I'm really pleased with
Crew,
how far we've come. with Flesh and
Dynasty,
Blood draft in my time. As I
Everfest,
mentioned, started in Dynasty, so a non-draftable set. But soon after, we're headed to our draftable sets.
I think that's right.
Bright
14 minus 3, right?
What do we have after Bright Lights? We then moved on to
Went Outsiders as well.
Outsiders. Yeah,
That was a good one.
Heavy hitters and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like you really can kind of trace the
Yeah, Jack.
trajectory.
Yeah, Jack. Rinrock got you, but yeah, confirmed that.
And
well,
now
I don't
we
know,
are,
confirmed,
in fact,
confirmed.
What number of sets deep? Hit me with it. 10 draftable sets.
Oh,
deep,
I was
10
wrong.
Experience, 10 different experiences. That's the coolest thing
What'd I
about Flesh
miss?
and Blood draft to me is
Crew,
that all 10 of those
Everfest,
really offer something different. Like they're a different way to play.
Dynasty.
In fact, they have different shapes, and that's a concept we've talked about a little bit over on our dev talks, like the lanes you can get in while drafting, the different.
Are we not at 14 sets? Are we at 13 sets? Is
Hero
that the problem?
versus talent distributions we offer.
Help me out, chat.
They all
Help me out.
present very different experiences.
Different like puzzles and different ways for people to figure them out.
Oh, Dust Till Dawn.
I agree with you. I
Thank
think the
you.
first drafts that we
Thank
worked
you.
with, was-
You're
that
right.
was
You're
Aria,
right.
Like way back in the day, and I see you chuckling there. Infamously
You are
great
correct.
draft format.
Look,
But
I like
Nathan.
Tales of Aria draft. I'm going to defend you guys here. I enjoy it, even with Briar at full power.
Even 6 Briars in the pod, it's
I still enjoyed it.
thought it was fun, but I just think thinking back to then versus like say some of our process and stuff now, I think we've just gotten a lot better over time. And,
Absolutely night and day.
I do feel like even if it's not your cup of tea, like even if the flavor or like the classes aren't your cup of tea, I think the draft experience is like they just get better and better. So
Also, like you mentioned one not being your cup of tea. There's another one right around the corner now. We don't have those droughts anymore that we had previously with a supplemental set in the middle where you might have 6 months between different draftable sets. You remember the unending Uprising draft competitive season? Fond memories of that format for sure, but we played it for a really, really long time.
did it go Everfest Uprising Dynasty or something?
Yep, it did. Yeah, there was a lot of and now being able to just offer draft experience after draft experience feels like the game's in such a better place for it. All right, another question, another fab fact for you. Who was the first hero to reach Living Legend and Blitz?
Is
You know this one.
Viscerai, right?
So I mentioned my
right?
road to Natswin was with this hero. It wasn't in Blitz.
Okay.
But so this is one of my all-time favorite heroes, right up there.
Ooh, this is a fun one.
Assassins for me.
I love this hero. Like, no, I was about to give a
not an
spoiler. Actually, I was about to just drop a big spoiler for the album, so I'll
I
just
think
say
it's Vis.
I was gonna say it's a lot different to the
That
Assassins.
might not be right.
Everyone.
This one's actually strong. All right.
Is in
All right,
fact
chat. No.
Viscerai, the first hero to reach Living Legend and Blitz, and that deck in Blitz was absurd. Just actually absurd.
Yeah, 'cause it was right after Everfest, and Swarming Gloomveil and Revel in Runeblood dropped. It was disgusting.
The Blitz calling with that one.
I think that was in Krakow.
And yeah, I think it was right. And I feel when I, started to solidify my feelings there was a problem is when I saw like the Viz mirror and they're both running hope merchants.
Alarm bells are going off.
And they just like immediately crack hope merchants, like dig for the card, and then someone finds it and it's like, oh, you're dead on turn 2.
That's for me. It's like a bit starts becoming a big red flag as hope merchant becomes the like go-to headpiece. Something's not right.
Actually, that's a pretty insightful observation.
Way back in Arcane Rising,
about the hope merchants.
First came out, wasn't the strongest hero around. This was in the very early days of Feb, but I was on like a personal mission to be like the first person to top 8 like a Rotanats or whatever it was progressing in back then. I think it was Rotanats, and I made it like all the way to this winning in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then like misplayed the final turn and lost, and I'm like, I think I'm still all good on breakers. And then it was none other than Jacob Pearson who beat me by like 0.01 on tiebreakers, demoted to 9th, and I was like, all right, whatever, I suck.
Yeah. And then like when Crucible came out, you just feel like you got all those tools.
The Ovarian Skies.
Dread Triptych, or like the kind of dig building opened up.
And a huge shout out to all the people playing Viserai and Rosetta meta as well. It's been so cool seeing people just like tune and work out their deck lists and stuff like that.
And we had 5 Viserais yesterday in our
Nick,
ProQuest.
who won that Battle Hardened.
The most represented
I've seen,
hero.
like Brody's list pop up. I've seen a bunch of people posting about them winning
good.
their ProQuest.
Real
Many
good.
Viserai fans out there. I know he's been in a bit of a lull, so it's great to Viserai back in force.
Yeah, I absolutely love seeing Viserai part of the metagame, and I think he absolutely is part of the metagame. Like a very, very strong hero. We're going to see at Worlds if Viserai is maybe looking to get that huge signature win for the first time.
Yep.
I think Viserai is a hero that people have just, you mentioned forcing it. I remember a lot of people playing Viserai in the Starvo era.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was probably a mistake, but that deck was so fun to play. It was so hard to get away from. I played it a ton in that era as well. And I think Viserai just has that type of effect on people.
Well, again, post Everfest.
Yep.
Bloodshade,
Right. Swarming,
not
Rebel.
Arcanics with like 20 rune chants. It's a rush.
Scalata.
How about more Fab Facts? We'll take another question.
This is fun.
here.
I like
this one. I know is going to speak to y'all very, very closely. How about when and where was the first calling event? You guys were involved from the very beginning.
Oh, was it
competitive Flesh and Blood?
Was it
Do you
New Jersey?
remember kind of when you first heard about this event? What was the excitement like?
I know when I first heard. I know exactly when this event was.
Or it was in
for
Texas.
reasons that I'll say afterwards. But actually, I guess I could say it's not really a spoiler. So I was pretty hyped to hear about this event. I think it was like Tom or someone that said, "Oh, there's this calling event. There's all this prize money. I think it was like 10 grand or whatever."
I think it's New
"All right,
Jersey.
I'm so hyped. Like I've learned.
Or no,
it's like, oh, it's in a couple
not
of
New
weeks."
Jersey, like Atlantic
And
City
I
or
just,
something.
Just recently started dating my partner, and I'm like, all right. And then it got announced. I'm like, sweet, this is awesome. And then like a couple of weeks down, I realized it was also like on her birthday.
But there could have been one somewhere
And
else, I
I
suppose.
was trying to justify it to myself. I'm like, like maybe I can
the
just go in the
early
morning and
ones,
actually, like,
when they
catch
were
up
promoting the
afterwards. And I'm like,
game.
no, this is going to start at 9 a.m. I'm going to be there till like
We're in the
6
US.
o'clock at night. It's not going to be a good start to this.
There's one in Texas, and I want to say there's one in
Top
Atlantic
ended that,
City.
mentioned that like.
Yeah.
You know, with Ricky on top, hey.
So I think I made the right decision though, skipping this one, but it was a very cool event. I was a little sad to miss it, but it was all good.
Well, I think y'all at home have probably figured out where this event was. Do you know when it was? Why don't we go ahead and take
All right,
a look
it's-
at the answer?
Oh, it was
in
Auckland.
fact,
Okay,
in
fair enough.
Auckland,
In the
October
hometown. Fair enough.
2019, just down the road here. in
Fair
Auckland.
enough.
You know, we just discovered the other day, Kieran, that your partner and I share a birthday.
Yeah,
Which is
yep.
very, very exciting news. I did not know that I actually share my anniversary with the birth of the calling scene, which obviously is a huge, huge part of my life. I've been to many, many callings, usually as a commentator. In fact, I've never participated in the calling. I've only been there as a commentator. But they've had a huge influence on my friendships, my ability to travel the world, my relationship with Flesh and Blood. Of course, before I worked for LSS on the development side, I did casting work. That was my very first exposure to Flesh and Blood. So it's hard to imagine me being in this seat right now without the calling circuit.
Yep.
And I know when I'm thinking of the folks who I know are hanging out in chat right now, and they're thinking of their friends from around the country, from around the world that they've shared these callings with, they're such an integral part of our mission of getting people together in the Flesh and Blood to play great games. I'm so thankful for the 5 years of callings we've had thus far, and I can anticipate many more exciting years of callings in the future.
Yeah, I love callings. Like, I just remember the first Classic Constructed calling I played was in Auckland in 2020, and yeah, I think early 2020, and I went there with like Carol and Rohan and Tom Penny, like some of the current devs these days, but it just really brought back that feeling of like when I used to play other card games competitively when I was younger and stuff, and we hadn't done this for a very, very long time. We just played amongst each other. But, you know, just waking up in the morning, I think we all drove there together.
All right, so I found the
the
list that Sarah talked about.
Checking
But
your deck list, you get
this,
the early buy
at this
some
pace,
sleeves,
it could go
reset your deck
for
and
a while.
everything. And it's just, James came in and did the speech. And it's like, players, take your seats. And I'm just like, I'm feeling it. Like, there's nothing like it. I love callings.
Got rejected memes
How about
next, and then the
another
CC game.
Fab fact. This one has been out there before. I know this has been discussed. What was Bravo's original name? Get to it, chat. What do you have?
No
Do
idea.
you know
Does anybody here
Bravo's
know?
Original name. Bravo, another hero. I think
What was
when I was
Bravo's
early on
original
in my
name?
Flesh and Blood journey,
That's interesting.
Bravo spoke to me as kind of like that simple on-ramp, the thing which presented a very clear set of goals, very clear play pattern.
I do
And
not
in
know the
fact,
answer
I
to this one.
remember there was a very, very brief period where I talked myself into
Nor do I have any
Bravo
idea.
being a good choice in the Starvo meta. Now, I was wrong, like just hard wrong.
Excuse me?
Yeah. But despite that fact, I think the hero has had a really cool storied history across his involvement with the game. And I'm very glad, actually, it ended up with the name Bravo as opposed to the other name, which we'll reveal shortly, because Bravo just sings so much better.
It's awesome. And actually, the Starvo thing reminds me, I'm going to do a minor call out of you. Back in the Starvo days.
No ideas, chat.
I think you posted like a picture of Earthlord.
Fair, I don't know.
Or Bounty Starvo.
And you're like, man, I'm just gonna put it out there. The Starvo players are really sleeping on this guy.
And I will tell you, I believe I got Vespa's first qualification on the back of him going to my website, arenadecklist.com, that I ran at the time, and I just published a Flesh and Blood article because I wanted to, and he took my deck list from that, and he qualified for.
And look where he
probably the
is
Pro
now.
Tour. And now he's one of the highest rated ELO players in the entire world.
What's the
Surprised him
answer?
with Smackdown.
What's the answer?
Saying, man, it's still possible they were sleeping. It's still possible.
As soon as that question went up, Clark Jansen, correct answer in the chat, like instantly.
Just instantly had it. All right, it sounds like the chat already knows. Why don't we
Oh.
go ahead and reveal Bravo's original name? It was in fact Bravant. Reuse that name later on down the road for the Tolarian Community College collaboration in that box set. Of course, Bravant, now a real hero in the game as well, protecting players all around UPF tables every single day.
Interesting.
But definitely not the right name for Bravo. That whole huge bombastic personality, I think Bravo named Bravant just wouldn't have sung the same way.
You know, in the song, no one walks like Bravo. No one talks like.
And shout out to Clark for just checking it out there straight away, zero hesitation.
Yeah,
Just
living
knowing.
that Bravo life for sure.
Long time fan of the game.
Yeah.
All right, another question. First Flesh and Blood card ever printed. So I'm assuming this means coming off the production lines, a physical card in hand for the first time. Now, again,
See who gets this
The
right.
Monarch was the first set design.
right, so clearly we're just printing all the Monarch cards. It's got to be something in
Bolt of
Monarch.
Courage.
Oh, there was
This is an interesting one.
Slingshot
And I think,
Underground
again,
cards.
This is one. There's so much lore out there, so many stories. I do think people know the answer to this.
Is it like Iron Rot?
It might be some select folks who know the answer to it, some of which who might be sitting on the couch next to me. But there are definitely folks who know the answer and have maybe even encountered some of these first Flesh and Blood cards printed in the wild. I know until I started working here, I had no knowledge of this whatsoever. I did not know
There's
this.
someone in the chat who got it already.
got it?
There's a lot of different. Yeah, there's a lot of different answers coming through here. Yeah, a lot of people saying stuff like Aria, seeing a lot of.
That makes
Iris
sense.
a good
It's
guess.
the
Yeah.
first kind of like Blitz deck. Ira came out before Welcome to Rathe.
I seem to remember it being equipment.
Published.
A few people guessing cracked bauble. Interesting.
Okay.
Oh.
I see where they're coming from.
a lot of
Sync
the-
below, some sync below.
There's some hard to find elves in there, some sync belows, a few dawn blades.
A lot of the community OGs have gotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think they
surprised.
know.
Why don't we go ahead and reveal the answer? It was, in fact, Iron Rot
Yeah.
equipment. And There's a little story here about, I think it's called the Slingshot Underground.
Slingshot
Underground, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Why don't you tell the story, Kieran? I know you're actually in possession of some of this, right?
I am not the full set, but there's we won't get into that. So I actually didn't know the full story, but Chris G was actually just telling me before. So these were I know like James and Chris ran like a website selling like singles, like Yu-Gi-Oh singles or something a long time ago, and when they were like starting to make the game, MJ on the creative team, who's been here since the start, like does some really cool art for the game. So she put together like a comic, which is, I believe, James basically his challenges in like making the game or like trying to like crack in the industry. So like taking on like the giants of the industry and then basically saying like, you know what, I'm gonna make my own game. I've designed it and it sounds really cool. And from what I understand, you had to like sign up for like the newsletter and then you got things to the comic. And then when the game actually, maybe before it came out or around that time, everyone who signed up was sent the Slingshot Underground test print Iron Rod equipment, and actually came with a written note as well from James, just thanking people for like believing in the game and saying there's something cool coming soon. And another little like fun little trivia fact is the chest and the arms, I think that's correct, were actually misprinted. So there's very few of them out there in the world. I don't know the exact number, but basically I think they got printed with the text for like, so like the Iron Rod chest would say like when Iron Rod helm was destroyed, so it was misprinted. And so I think a bunch of them got shredded, so there's like very few of them out there in the world. But yeah, like a really cool backstory to that. And I remember that there's the first guy from Europe to actually sign up for this as well. He got sent the full set, so he has the full set and the thing. I'm sure that's worth a pretty penny these days. But I just thought it was a really cool backstory to like to the first cards ever being printed, those Slingshot Undergrounds. They have a white back on the back as well because they're test prints, so yeah, it's cool.
Maybe a bit of a grail for the collectors out there. Again, this is all just part of this ever accumulating lore history behind the game, these cool little stories. And I love that the OGs are in the chat and they just know, like they have this knowledge. They've heard these stories before, and now we're getting to share it with this huge group of new players who have joined us over this 5-year journey, and they'll get to share it on the 10th year anniversary stream and answer these questions correctly.
So there was like the precursor to, you know, the gold fours coming in like the black LSS envelopes these days. Like those original ones back then, they were sent in like the nice LSS envelopes and stuff. Had a little fab Christmas card and stuff on the back.
I've got some of those.
Really cool stuff.
Nice.
So get 'em.
Nice.
And shout out to Onhead Effect for getting it first in chat, I believe.
Cool. Another question. First fab art ever commissioned. So, again, I'm all about the simple answers today. Surely, if Iron Rod equipment is the first card printed, this has just got to be Iron Rod again, right? That's the
Some of
simplest
the
answer, the obvious answer.
Right,
original
maybe.
envelopes.
I'm just gonna keep quiet because I feel I started off that calling on with like this one.
the handwritten notes.
Then just spoiled it. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's talk about just a broad question around
Pretty
the
cool.
art of fab. How about just favorite fab art pieces of all time? Anything stand out to you as just the piece that speaks
now
to
they're
you more than
these,
anything else? I know, Carol, you're an artist, so I'm sure the art of the game has a special place in your heart, even beyond our own relationship.
Yeah,
with it.
for sure. Like Sonata Arcanix is one of my. Not only do it's my favorite card from design, but I feel like the art piece is amazing as well. But like when it comes to like playmats, I feel like playmats are a great way to enjoy Flesh and Blood art because you kind of get it blown up from the size of the card. Is definitely Riftbind. I don't know why. Like I'm not even that big on.
Ooh, what do we think?
Chane
First
back in the day or
art.
anything, but I just love the art of Riftbind.
It's like you know you like.
I'm betting
like Iron Maiden and Opeth.
Torrent of
like
Tempo?
That, so
Maybe.
some of that.
It's the colors. I don't know. It just
that might
kinda
not be
pops.
true. Well, no, because if Iron Rot was earlier,
What about you guys? Anything stand out as far as the art collection?
I only have memory of the last set. Like whenever these questions get asked,
You just erased the next.
yeah, everything before is gone. But my current favorite is probably Gone in a Flash.
Okay.
When we saw that for the first time, I was like, that is really nice.
Yeah, I think Rosetta as a whole just really sings.
Yeah, for sure.
I think mine is definitely just the classic. My favorite card in the game, favorite art still, Enlightened Strike. Love Enlightened Strike. It's like I've got the playmat, you know, I've got the foil. The two, it's just like one of those like absolutely iconic fab cards, and I think they just crushed it right out of the gate with that. Enlightened Strike. What are you? Actually, I know what you're going to say, but tell us anyway.
Well, no, you don't.
I
because
don't. Oh, okay, okay.
You might have, and I had clear answers to this for a very long time, but in the next as yet unannounced set, and I don't even think you guys have seen this yet because we were just
Brian and James are always doing that.
This product for the first time.
The next set's the
there is a piece
bestest
of art
thing
on
ever.
An extremely powerful card that is just bonkers. You guys are gonna know it as soon as you see it.
See, told you.
And when we get to that point, we'll talk about it again. But keep your eyes open in the next set.
Okay.
Spoilers?
Okay.
Any
No
hints?
spoilers.
Yeah, any spoilers, Brian?
Every single
We'll
time,
talk about
every
it
set's
offline.
the bestest draft experience
It's
ever.
really, really
So
good.
funny.
We've only had 2 people guess it actually.
Okay.
In the chat.
Let's reveal it. Let's go ahead and put it on the screen. It is Brutal
Oh,
Assault. This
okay.
is one that
Brutal
I
Assault.
absolutely did not know.
Do you know how I discovered this one actually originally? Is when we were moving office one time.
Interesting.
We were like collecting up all our stuff and everything, and I saw like packed away with our stuff we were taking to the next office this like framed sheet, and I looked at it and it's just a bunch of like brutal assaults.
Kieran just tosses it in the bin. He's like, we don't need that anymore.
So they're being like, oh, it's more trash. No, but I think I picked it up. I think I just asked Chris G. Chris G, Mr. TCG just knows kind of everything, and I was like, oh, Chris, like, why do we have these framed? What's the deal with this? And he's
In the shredder? Oh.
yeah, but he was just like, this was actually the first fab art that we ever commissioned, and I was like, that's so cool. So I chuck this in the bin, or so I think it's probably up here somewhere in the office. Maybe we'll go in the Fab Museum one day or something.
Now that you say that, I feel like it is hanging somewhere in the office.
Yeah.
I feel like I've walked by it.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the more you know.
Okay. Next Fab fact here.
Oh man, keep going.
We've talked about this one before. What was Flesh and Blood's original name? I think chat's going to get this one pretty quickly. There are some hints out there in the real world as well as to what Flesh and Blood's original name
I actually
was.
don't know the answer to this.
I think this was revealed to me by James pretty early on in my tenure with Flesh and Blood, as he was telling me some stories about the early days. I will say I prefer Flesh and Blood. I think we got to the right name in the end. And I don't think this name is bad. I think it's a fine name. But I think the dual meaning of Flesh and Blood just carries so much more weight.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
It speaks to the world. It speaks to the way we experience this game.
I feel like there's
Does
been
anybody
so
know?
many
I don't know.
times,
Does anybody know?
Talking to people who don't know about the game or maybe don't know like trading cards generally, and I'm like, oh, it's called Flesh and Blood, and they're like, oh, okay. And then I go through the thing, and I'm like, and it's called that because like it's about getting together in the flesh and blood through the common language great games, and they're like, that's so cool. Really like this, and yeah, the alternate name doesn't quite have the same ring to it, but I actually remember, though, I don't know if you recall, Carol, when we first started working here, a couple of times there would be like, this veiled reference to like the original name, and then we were like, oh, what was it? And it might have been like Jason Chung or Chris is like, oh no, we can't tell you. It's like it was a thing that was like,
You guys weren't in the circle of trust.
yeah, it wasn't meant to be out there in the world.
Still
And then
contracting it.
and then when I heard, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember a lot of the chat got it
got
right.
this, yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was definitely was really when we started.
What's
working
the
on
answer?
Hitters, that it was
Yep.
kind of like really brought up a lot.
Yep. And that is, of course, hinting towards the name. It is Death Match, the original name for Flesh and
Oh.
Blood. Of course, Deathmatch Arena.
Deathmatch Arena.
In Heavy Hitters paying homage to that concept. Okay, next Fab Fact here. And this, I believe, this is the big one. This is the giveaway question. So, Jayli, show them what they are working with here. Beautiful uncut sheet. Who you got on that sheet, by the way?
I think we've got 3 box skins.
Okay.
3 unsheathed Lightning Greaves, Splatter Skull, and an extended art 10 foot tall.
Not bad. A pretty nice
10-foot
uncut
tall.
sheet.
Bring it right into the camera, bro.
All right, man. And this question asking about, there we go.
There we
We'll
go,
get a
there we
little
go.
assist on the close up.
Ooh.
Love these uncut sheets. They've been on prize walls
so shiny.
all
Nice.
across the world at callings, at Pro Tours, at World Championships. Of course, if you're heading to Osaka, you'll have the chance potentially gather some tickets, get one of those for your own collection. But the question is, to the nearest 1,000, how many Flesh and Blood Armory events have been run worldwide? So we're absolutely picking a winner for this. We're going to put a timer up. We're going to let you go
Oh,
ahead
you gotta.
and
If
fire
you're gonna do
off
this, you
some
gotta run over
guesses. We got
the real
1
chat.
minute
Just to be clear.
to get these guesses down in the chat.
Can we guess?
If we get someone close.
There's some.
Oh man, good luck. People are just gonna
There's some people getting
spam
pretty close.
numbers.
Okay.
Good
And you're
luck,
giving him
Alex,
enough
going
time to
through all
go
this.
Google it.
And our producer
This
Alex
one's pretty. This one's
to
pretty
figure out
close.
who the winner is here.
Ooh, someone was super close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and look at that. There's a Chris Gehring who's got it exactly.
Wait, Mr. Classic.
I think.
Now, is this like Price is Right rules? Do you have Price is Right in Auckland?
Okay, I think.
Alright.
Okay,
So
I think
Price is Right rules say you can't go over. You have to be the closest without going over.
without going over.
Yeah, is that the rule
I
here?
I thought we were just
I don't know, man.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
like closest from both sides. I'd
Okay.
say.
Timer's running out here quickly. All right, time is in fact up now, and it falls on Alex to scroll through chat. Go ahead and identify
Good luck, Alex.
our winner. But there is your answer. There have been 162,000 armory events run
someone get it?
worldwide, and it sounds like
On
maybe
the
we
dot.
got it on the dot.
162. How do you do that?
We are scrolling right now.
I don't know. Someone's hacking our backhand or something.
Yeah,
How
they
do you
know.
guess that on the?
That's a hell of a guess right there, and it's a hell of a number, honestly. Just a ridiculous amount of armory events around the world. When you actually think 162,000 times people got together with their flesh and blood cards, sat down, and
So
battled.
considering,
Yeah.
I'm just going to do the
This
5
isn't
years
games. This is
average
like
and
full
forget
events.
That is a lot.
five. I forget the pandemic.
It's so
5
weird,
times
'cause, like, I feel like as
52
humans,
because
we
they were
are
playing them online
desensitized
armories.
to
So 5 times
large
52,
large,
so it's
large
260.
occurrences.
So
But when you actually
162
consider 162,000 times people are
260
getting together, and playing
means
this great
623
game, it's actually
armories a
mind-blowing.
week worldwide.
That's
what
a
that
lot. I mean,
means,
if you average
on
that out
average.
over the history, that's like
Obviously, it's more now,
what,
right?
nearly like 1,000 armories.
I don't
we
do
go
math.
something
I don't
crazy
deal
like
with
that.
math, Kieran, but it's a lot of
Yeah.
people. It's a
It's,
lot.
623
I don't know the
armories a
math,
week.
but it's like so many armor, and it's so cool. And I think we were just talking about this the other day a little bit. How you can basically go to any major city in the world. Like you fly in there, and maybe they're maybe you're not, and you're just like, oh, I don't really know that many people here. You got a local game
do
store.
now.
You can probably just play an armory, and suddenly you've got at least 7 other friends. I
Yeah,
mean,
the hard part of
It's
finding those
beautiful
armories is you gotta.
together
hopefully
with
the
people,
LGS
no
puts them in
matter
gem.
where you
That's
are
the problem,
on the
right?
globe. It sounds like we have determined a winner. Is that correct?
maybe we have to come
Okay.
back. Maybe we have to.
We will sort this out.
Let's
We
move
will
on.
Get you
Let's
a
move
winner.
on.
We will let you know. We promise somebody is getting a hold of that beautiful uncut sheet very shortly. We're just going to check the chat and make sure we are putting it in the right hands. So stay with us. We will announce a winner to that in just a little bit. Cool stuff there from Fab Trivia. I'm happy we got to share some of this secret lore behind the
All right,
scenes.
moving
A
on to
lot
failed
more
memes, it sounds like here.
secrets will be revealed today. Maybe some about the future of Flesh and Blood. There is a big announcement coming up.
Oh,
at
you
the
teases.
end of the stream, but also we're gonna battle a little bit. We're gonna play some Flesh and Blood. It would not be a celebration unless we took the time to go ahead and actually get together in the Flesh and Blood and play a little bit of CC. It's gonna be Jason Lai
And Mr. Class. And
You're not in this part. Maybe
This
later,
time,
buddy.
Mr. Classic.
There's gonna be Jason Lai piloting. I would say your favorite hero.
My
Did I ever
favorite
say-
hero by far.
Is it just your favorite hero? Period. At this point.
I think so.
Okay.
To play, just the gameplay is just phenomenal in my opinion.
Yeah. Of course, talking about Aurora, Shooting Star.
Aurora.
I'm going to be taking a list, I believe, inspired by Bartosz Zemba, of course, second place finisher at the last Pro Tour, second place finisher at 2 Pro Tours now. Bartosz, I know you're going to get that. It's just around the corner, I promise.
Next one.
Yeah, next one. Taking a list inspired by him from Calling Leon, I believe, correct?
Yep, that's right. Fun fact, I actually, my first game at Worlds was against Bartosz. I got smashed.
I think a lot of people have gotten smashed by Bartosz over
so
the
you say
years.
we hide the wrong person?
We'll get him next time.
Yeah.
You're going to be taking on a different Polish player this go around. Taking on Carol.
And you'll also get smashed.
And Carol's coming to the table with a hero that isn't legal yet. You cannot play this hero at your local armories.
November
quite yet,
2nd.
But after Worlds, you will be able to. It is, of course, Ira, adult Ira, something that OGs like you have been
exciting.
clamoring for.
People have been waiting.
I'm very interested to see
Very
what
long time.
he
And Carol, you're
does for
actually
his
going
build.
to be using a list inspired by the person who defeated Bartosz It is Shoma Yamamura, our reigning Pro Tour champion, put together a little Ira list online, and you took a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you think a hero has an edge in this matchup? How are you feeling about your chances?
I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. I think it's a hero that just the turn by turn is great damage, consistency's there. No instance that will give me no block hands. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident.
I feel like I've got a free win here.
Oh,
Hey,
That's more to do with the player than the matchup.
oh. I love the trash talk.
So
stuff.
interesting. Actually, I'm going to put
Kinda
a poll
hoping that,
in.
like, you know, Carol starts pulling off this comeback, and Jason just like, it's happening again.
I'm gonna get smashed again. I hate Poland.
you heard it here first. J-Li hates Poland. Remember that, Team Poland. He said it out loud. Don't ever let him forget that.
These Polish players have my number.
All right, so we don't talk about it here. We be about it. We're going to go ahead and get our players ready down in our makeshift feature match area. We're going to take a little break to get that sorted. While we do that, we're going to give you a sneak peek behind the scenes at our marketing department. Some ideas that they try and bring to the table. Sometimes
So let me know,
someone's
who do
gotta
you
step
think's
in and
gonna
say
win?
no, but today, nobody's saying no. These are
it's an interesting
rejected
matchup,
marketing ideas you're gonna
right?
get a chance to have a
Because
look at.
Aurora can
We'll
just
be back with
go.
some
I think she
fleshbone
can
action
blitz
interest.
down Ira, but Ira's got disruption. So these are all very clearly fake memes, right? Yeah. Right now, everybody thinks it's Ira. Oof. Like, everybody. Hey, we've got Riddler in the chat. What's with all the retracted messages, Andrew O? You don't have to answer that. Or you can answer it and retract it. Eh? Alright, I am gonna decrease the volume here. It's a little too loud. What's up, Sean? That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, I think they're going to play Ira more value and just like try and land the disruption, like CNCs, whatever the heck the new one from. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah, like, you know, go 2 6s like CNC, erase face. There's a couple good on hit 1 5s. Get in your hand, get in your arsenal. Ooh, it's getting closer now. We're at 67% on Ira. 57. Ooh. Yeah, I think the disruption is gonna matter. What's up, Riddler? How you doing, man? It's like straight up elevator music. right, this is very clearly a good time for a short break, but I'm very interested to watch this match. I am going to take a little break. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to leave it rolling, but I am going to walk away. I'll be back in a minute. Hopefully I can beat the game. Alright, hopefully this doesn't take too long here. Alright, it's gonna end the poll. Man, we are 60-40 split after we talked through it. It was definitely all gas Ira, but it's definitely leveled up. All right, so actually, let's think about this, right? So,
finishing a game.
Oh, there we go. Whoa. Whoa.
After finishing a game, remember to.
Aw. Really?
I'm pretty sure I'm tripping right now.
Oh, there we go. All right.
that was
Brian's
a
back.
lot. Don't forget the DG, I guess.
Don't forget the DG or Mr. Classic will find you.
All right. It sounds like our players are just about ready down in the feature match area. I feel like I have immediately seamlessly transitioned to broadcasting mode. As soon as I put this headset on, I'm in the zone, Kieran. I'm feeling it.
The voice changes. You got your casting mode on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hyped for this game.
No, it's going to be fun. Ira has been a lot of fun internally. It's been a lot of fun exploring what she's going to go ahead and do in the CC meta.
I'm going to take some notes as we go and see if we can figure out. I'm sure they'll post Ira deck, actually, but I'm going to try and keep track of what they're
So we kick things off by looking at Showman.
playing Ira. I think we all have a pretty good idea of what Aurora looks like these days.
One thing I quite like about his deck is the looking for a scrap interaction. So you're just thinking for Ira, you kind of want these one cost cards sometimes to pair with. So you can pitch a blue, attack with your daggers twice, and then come in again. But he's sort of taken that to change that a little bit up with the looking for a scrap. So you can play a number of one power combo cards, which interact with your flick flacks really nicely. And that just gives you another tool on top of things like Bettering Thorns, that means you're not necessarily trapped into just going, say, attack with dagger into a command and conquer, or attack into take the tempo. You can actually weave your lines a little bit, maybe kick things off with it, looking for a scrap into like a Bittering Thorns for 5 or something like that.
Yeah, it feels like when Ira was present in Blitz, and she was an absolute metagame terror in Blitz, it was a lot more about 1 into 2 cost. Like it was Kodachi
Looking for a scrap in Ira. That's interesting.
Again. But I think the CC profile might be a little bit different. I think those 1s are going to have a lot more to do with Ira's success here. So looking at the loadout for Carol's side, it is a double Kodachi setup. Mask Momentum, of course, ready to threaten that devastating on-hit. And then a pretty standard setup beyond that. Carol kicks things off here with Harmonized Kodachi.
Kodachi for 1, shocker.
Look at that hero art. That's pretty damn sweet for the Aria there. And
Kodachi 2.
In terms of playing points, I think Jason is in the lead here with that EA face purgatory and EA tunic.
Full block.
Yeah, both players really stepping up their bling game here. Kodachi for 2 the second
E-Strike
time.
berries for
things
7.
Off here with E-Strike for 7. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of leakage
Blocks
here on
E-Strike, and I can't tell the bottom card, so he'll leak 2. Okay, not a bad turn 0 here.
Jason Lai going to kick things off at 37 for his first go-around.
Yeah, I think Carol's got to be pretty happy with that, pushing 3 damage.
Yeah, pushing 3
damage,
damage,
getting an Arsenal card as well set up, and not letting Jason get some of those like play out the Channel Lightning Valley, make it an embodiment sort of.
Playing on the Japanese map, which is pretty hot.
On Jason's side is going with Face Purgatory. I think this is a great matchup for Face Purgatory, using that as covering up big attack. A lot of times you get priced into defending with your Face Purgatory on a smaller attack. You don't get the full defensive value out of it because you really want that draw discard effect.
Okay, so he's leading with Starfall. He very clearly has Lightning Valley in his hand.
Often closing out turns from Ira. Should find nice targets for that Face Purgatory.
Oh, no. Okay, he's just going to do the next one. So it's coming for 2.
Either, Carol.
Taking 2.
The electrostatic discharge.
Okay, so that
funnel.
That one does not have goes, though.
I think an absolute all-star in these Lightning decks.
Because it has to be action. So it does not have goes. So it's just 5.
Well.
Yep, so just coming in for 5 here. So he's got the 2 floats, so
no
potentially
goes.
just looking at putting an embodiment of lightning
blocks
down.
Flick Flack, so he'll bleed 1, but then the next combat there's no.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so it just poops out the token. Arsenal goes.
Embodiment
Arsenal
feels
pass.
so different from an Aurora without the embodiment of lightning in play.
Yep, just really opens up those lines a little bit. And we see Kayo running the Tide Flippers for his Arcane Barrier here, just for those Arc Lightning turns, most likely.
Kick things off with Kodachi one more time.
Bleed the 1. I mean, your Aurora's not going to block that.
You're right about the Face Purgatory, just really nice for things like Flying Kick that Aria likes to run. Aria also quite often likes to finish off with a big attack and then park something like
Arcanic
Distraction and Arsenal.
Shockwave.
So if you're able to
so he'll take
cut
the
that
2
off as well,
there we go.
Just get some incredible value.
The sensor, so you can name a card.
And here we are seeing that 1-1-1 pattern. Kodachi into a sensor here.
Yep. On hit, names a card, and he can't play it.
Interesting
Jason
to see if
cannot
Carol
play it.
hits here what he names. Anything spring out as a target to mind for you, Classic?
I mean, stuff like Gone in a Flash or even Arc Lightning, if you're wanting to just stop some of the really early pressure. Could even name stuff like Snatch as well, just to remove some of these on-hits, burn up Shock. There's a lot of good targets in this deck.
Yeah, I think you got to call Arc Lightning just in case, but in case we've seen Entwined Lightning. I'm surprised he's blocking here, actually. Okay, so he's going to block
for
5. Not let him call. I mean, Carol's a pretty smart dude. He's a dev. He kind of knows everything.
Immediate tricks from Carol. Just going to go ahead, Sigil, gain a bit of life, head back up to a healthy 40.
Woof.
And Sigil, one of those cool cards in this deck, because when you thread in your draw triggers off
so we
Master
see a sizzle.
It's kind of nice if you have a card in hand. They're like, oh, they've already got a card in hand. What are they going to do with another one?
Entwine. And he'll fuse. Oh, he doesn't need to fuse it. He's got
Sizzle
that's
into
right.
Entwine Lightning here.
Okay, so
Lightning
that's
getting to go again from that
7
embodiment
goes.
of Lightning. So 7
Very
on
nice.
offer. 2 cards left for Jason. Card in hand, card in arsenal.
Yep, and even if you have the Lightning card here, you don't want to fuse because you've already got the go again. So why give away that information?
That could be looking at something like just a Starfall.
Is he blocking just
activation
3?
To another embodiment, perhaps.
Ooh.
Some damage does leak here. And looks like
Sigil
from
himself.
Jason as well out of the arsenal heads back up to 37. Sigil of Solace really coming into its own in this metagame.
Now, I really want to see how much Carol tries to pressure here, because Jason does have the Tunic Trigger coming up, but no embodiment of Lightning on this turn.
There were some
So Carol's
gross
able to
Aurora plays
bring
over the
some
weekend with
disruption,
Sigil of
push out a number
Solace,
of
right?
cards,
Because you can get
could
the action
start to
point
try
off
and
with the
put
boots.
Jason on the back foot early.
Yeah, great time to think about using that Ira ability to go ahead and pump something up, get to like a 7 power Command and Conquer, a classic Ira play.
but 3 cards in hand, maybe wanted to defend a little bit more if that was the route we were going to go down. So let's see what Carol has cooking on this turn cycle.
Yeah, so I think I spotted a Bittering Thorns in his hand as well. So that's going to be, could be very, very nice here.
I'll be interested to see if he plays Bittering Thorns first or second. I think usually with Ira it's best second. No, he leads with it though. Okay.
Challenging breakpoints and some capacity to go wide here.
So that means he's not planning on a Kodachi 2. Right.
Yeah,
because
definitely
Kodachi would come in
threatening this
for 3
on
on
hit
hit,
because,
which is not
Jason's got to be
super
thinking if
advantageous.
this is
Although
like the
against
NCN
Aurora
hand,
it could
that's
be.
going to be coming in for 8 if this hits with the Ira ability plus Bittering Thorns, so he's going to respect that with
Alright, throws 4.
Here.
Yeah, finds a block here using the Lightning Greaves plus a Static Shock to go ahead and do a full cover. And just a follow-up Snatch here.
So he has no way to ghost?
From Carol.
Well,
So
hold
go
on.
again on this one.
1 in hand? Yeah.
Oh, so a good read from Jason there. Carol sort of repping the Razor Reflex potentially.
You can tell Jason's already sweating Razor Reflex.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if there's Razor Reflex.
I
on
think he's
Carol's
screwing with
list,
him, but
I think Jason has talked himself into a problem that may not exist.
Yeah, I think he's screwing with him.
Yep. So one thing, by playing the Tide Flippers instead of the Snapdragon Scalers, these plays are a little less threatening.
What do we think? Does he have it, folks? Do you think he has it?
Jason here, I think he'd be pretty happy with that. No, he's just going to take it.
Takes the damage.
Yeah.
What is happening right now?
Carol with a bit of an IP penalty there did not effectively use the entire hand, but you could
Okay.
tell it put
It
Jason
coulda
in the
worked for him,
blender,
though.
was sweating the contents of those last few cards.
All right, we're going to get the Valley play here now, finally. There we go.
Oh, and Carol sniffing it out that time, figuring
Yep.
out it was a Channel Lightning Valley.
Yeah, getting in front of that Starfall.
Oh, he's totally got to
Very,
press.
very wisely.
He's totally got to press.
Of course, the 2 block value on that Flex Clause, it was a good time to commit that to the defense.
Ooh, we got Weakest Link, which
down
is
of defense of the Static
pretty
Shock.
good.
It is going to go ahead and hit here.
Yeah, draw, but and then I guess it lets him pay into Aurora.
And a card for Jason. I think that last card in hand is another Sigil. Yeah, that's going to be used in this spot. Heads back.
Nobody
up
didn't
to
pitch, so he
35.
loses.
Ooh, and
Oh,
he didn't find the Lightning card there to keep the Channel Lightning Valley around.
That's big
it's a
deal.
big win for Carol on that turn, I think.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, both players failing to use their entire hand across this last turn cycle.
Bleed
Yeah,
1.
because I really got the sense he was really hoping to find that Lightning card, make the embodiment, stick the Channel Lightning Valley for another turn.
Bit of a gamble, may not have paid
So,
off.
I find it interesting here that he's on Shuko because
Gotcha,
Ira really doesn't
offering
play that many. Although they were talking about looking for a scrap, so I
Claws
guess
here coming down, also threatening that
He's getting
massive
it, like,
momentum trigger.
to really get use out of Shuko. Oh, there you go. Throws
Ooh,
1.
now you really
He's on
see the
flipper,
pain of
so
having
does
lost
he
that
pay
Channel
to it?
Lightning Valley.
Oh, he takes it.
This would have snowballed quite
Yeah,
hard.
if he had
in Jason's
Valley in,
favor.
oh man, because you draw off that.
Yeah, so got him with the Sigil. Sorry, you're absolutely right, Brian. I mean, if this was 5 cards coming in with the Channel Lightning Valley still active, that would have been pretty devastating.
Pretty cool.
So no embodiment to kick off the turn here.
Okay. So Flittering Charge gains goes
Sorry.
on instant
Promised,
on
I
this
mean, you
chain,
can't
so
take that
he's
back.
broadcasting instant. It does look like it's Electrostatic Discharge.
I think that's that full art Flittering Charge, right?
Yep, there's your discharge, so
Electrostatic
+3
Discharge.
on the back.
He's running out. Oh, maybe he's got the Flittering as well.
Yeah, Flittering
Okay,
is on the
react.
chain. Electrostatic Discharge going to go ahead and provide
Sinks.
the instant for it.
Digging. Okay, Entwine. Does he fuse? Does he have a fuse?
Entwine Lightning to wrap things up. So
No
nice
fuse.
output here from Jason. Nothing too
Arsenal
oppressive.
pass.
Just chipping away.
And one thing Carol hasn't been able to do is offer some disruption, so
Kodachi
we'll
won.
see if that's going to start coming up.
But it hasn't mattered all that much so far. Just leveraging these Kodachis well, getting damage in when it makes sense to, and kind of asking Jason what's the worst you can do. And right now, it hasn't been all that much. Like Jason hasn't.
Weakest
really
link
put
hurts
together
Aurora.
One of those
Yep,
explosive
he's blocking. He's got
Aurora
instants. He doesn't want to
turns
lose
yet,
them.
but does here find a good opportunity to go ahead and commit that face.
Oh,
purgatory for
okay.
Near full value. As we
So he gets
said,
a. So
you know, a lot of
Kieran
times
doesn't
we
have
don't
to, or sorry,
expect
Karen doesn't have to
decks go
discard,
ahead and
but
offer numbers
Jason
as
does
high
get
as
the
7.
draw.
There's a lot of 4s in the current format, but here Face Purgatory finds both a good block and some disruption and an additional card for Jason. You see when this card's operating at its fullest how strong it can be.
Such an incredible card, and I think he had the perfect block for 7 on your 7 into the draw, so really, really nice to Jason there.
So I do see electromagnetic or whatever the heck it is, the one
Carol
that
getting a little
the
bit of
instant
breathing
that
room, though,
bounces.
facing down a 3-card hand
But
plus
that's in his
also
hand, so he
no
must have
embodiment of
drawn
lightning
that.
just yet.
Because otherwise he could have thrown down, gone in a flash and
Gone
stuff,
in
and
a
then bounced it
flash turn
back.
here potentially for Jason.
Yes.
So he must have drawn that.
Arcanic Shockwave gone in a flash. It's just, can he get some access to that go again? Maybe an instant to pair with the lightning grooves.
As he's just trying to go, 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 go. Maybe that's his play here. Okay, Shockwave, Fuse, so 1 Arcane and then 4.
There's just going to be a fused Shockwave here. 1 Arcane does succeed.
Interesting. It blocks Torrent a tempo. Bounces it.
So is that the electromagnetic somersault coming in?
It is going to be.
Oh,
a
and then
somersault.
pitches to
Yeah, that's
Aurora.
gonna
Oh,
go ahead and
interesting
allow
play.
A pitch here to go ahead and make an embodiment of lightning. So setting up potentially for that Gone in a Flash turn.
Interesting.
In the future.
So again, Carol with a lot of cards to work with here. Does have that tunic up.
Damn Kodachis, man.
Yeah, if you're Jason, you really want to avoid disruption here. You would love to go ahead and play this entire hand.
Yep, and on Carol's side, he's really hoping
Just take
for
it.
something like
Take it and go.
Weakest Link, CNC, Erase Face, those style of cards to throw off this turn.
You didn't go Kodachi into 2 cost, so I think that's a bit of a sigh of relief if you're in Jason's seat. You really didn't want to see a 7 power CNC here.
Let's see.
The
It's another sensor.
Is going to be sensor once again. So this is going to put a lot of pressure on Carol if Jason wants to gamble here and just take this and force Carol to name the correct thing. The problem is
so
he
far this
did
deck's very
reveal
similar
Gone
to
in the
mine,
Flash
the Ira deck.
on the last turn cycle.
And I'll name Arc Lightning.
Now maybe it was
He just called
the
Arc
pitch
Flash.
cards for Jason when he played the embodiment.
Yeah, so he somersaulted, I believe he pitched that away with the Arcanic Shockwave in the end. So he named Arc Lightning, which I think when you're 10 life ahead, it's just the card to name.
Yeah, and that's very reasonable. But Jason did find another copy of Gone in a Flash here that he will be able to use.
Oh, he does not have
choose.
Arc.
Carol having a bit of fun naming that sensor card.
I think it's going to be a big
So,
turn.
yeah, with Gone in a Flash
Oh,
and Bonnie
that's
with
Flicker
Lightning
Wisp, right?
grooves up,
He's got in
maybe
his
he
right
could just
hand.
make something happen here, even without the Arc Lightning.
I think,
if he
from
has
this
that set
angle.
up. But here we see like the power of Ira, right? 10 life ahead now, just chipping away consistently, 1 into 2 into.
I think we see the boots
Hasn't
go
done
here.
anything flashy thus far, just playing mostly Kodachi into generic.
It'd be cool to see if we get the Tiger, the Shuko on the arms there as well. I know he has cards like Flex Claws, which generates a Tiger to help turn on the Shuko, which you can pair together with some of your combo.
Oh, he's
cards
pitching
as well.
Flicker. CNC with Goes.
that
Wow,
one of
that's a
those beautiful-
hot
That is a
CNC.
Command and
Whoa.
Conquer. That is a Kassai Command and Conquer coming down with Go again.
Right,
Followed up here by
flickering or
another
whatever the heck
flickering
it is.
charge. Potential for more Go again.
I mean, the instant gives it Goes.
This one is going to get
Yep,
the job
so that's
done.
his last
Just like
electrostatic, and then he'll
discharge.
be able to come 7 at the end. Nicely done.
Carol has the reaction at the ready.
Covers
Inform
it.
Fate foreseen. One of the things I really like about the way Carol's list is built is that
So-
you're very content just doing what he's done thus far, playing this chip game. However,
So he's
once
on
Jason's life total
Fate,
gets
Sync,
into a
and
vulnerable range,
Flick-Flack, we've
Carol's
seen.
going to potentially find something like those Bittering Thorns looking for a scrap turns and get a little wide and get some offensive output in a moment that it may just be curtains for Jason if
Very
he has
interesting.
to commit some key cards that he was relying on. to
And
generate
Carol still
offense.
still has
again,
27. I
and
mean, no
first
hand,
blood
but
is
27
6
held.
and
Actually, sorry, 1 in
pretty
hand.
happy
Sorry,
to
the D-React is Arsenal. That's my bad.
at least. Oh, and the Tunic Kodachi, I like that. Keep the damage ticking over. So if he's
Tunic
able to target
Kodachi.
the-
That's
the
it. And then
Cintauri,
he'll
for
it's just
example,
1, and then he'll Arsenal
He's
pass.
still he's still like 4
Because
life ahead at this
Kodachi
point.
does not have
Jason
Goes.
has no embodiment.
Okay.
Yeah. And Carol's very content to wait here. You know, just block out a couple of cards, find that disruption.
Oh, that's a trap.
Thus far,
So
the
on
Vulture's
hit,
looking
if you've played
at
Lightning, right? This is
real
Lightning
against
Flow. On
Jason
hit,
Lai.
it will deal 1
Carol
Arcane.
firmly in control. However, we should note, thus far, Jason has only shown 1 Channel Lightning Valley, no
Yep.
Arc Lightnings.
Then he'll, I guess,
There's a lot
pitch and
more
set himself up.
explosive potential
Oh,
left
wow.
in this deck. Went for a Lightning Press there. Carol ready with the sink below to go ahead and cover up.
Pitching to Aurora, and then
And I
Arsenal
want to
pass.
see what
Okay.
Carol's got following up, because choosing to defend with
Set
the
up
Command and
turn.
Conquer, particularly when your opponent plays a card without Go again, indicates to me that he might have some sort of additional piece of disruption in his hand here. because otherwise it's very tempting just to like throw down that CNC.
E-strike.
Kicking these off with E-strike here for 7.
Okay, for 7. Just a basic E-strike.
Okay, potentially another option is a little light on resources on this hand. Didn't have the blue to pair them all
So
together.
I mean, there's no reason. I think there's no reason to not
Makes a
take
lot of
this and
sense.
try and
I
do
also think
something
there's
as
a
Aurora here, right?
High value on damage for Carol right now with Jason.
just
at
vanilla,
22, a
so-
deck that typically does not defend all that well. Face Purgatory.
Oh, well, okay, yeah,
already
fair enough.
Burnt.
Take
And
3.
there is a good chance for Carol to go ahead and look to take the offensive at this moment in the game.
Yeah, particularly, you know, just the grass with that one more block in the grasp and Tunic in a pinch. So it does have the embodiment
Do you
of
see the
lightning.
CNC again? Current funnel, CNC. It looks like another press. Okay. Oh, that's a bummer. So that's from Arsenal, so he wastes the embodiment.
Surge fired off here. Going to benefit from that embodiment of lightning. Get go again.
So this is kind of a cool play. So he did have that CNC in hand as well. But
I'm surprised he didn't lead with a CNC.
So just already had it. I wonder if a bit of mind games going on. Trying to weave a bit of disruption in.
He's trying to outplay him, yeah.
Ooh.
Carol always with the defense reaction at the ready. This one,
Man.
flick flap coming down. We'll see if there's a combo card to go ahead and pair as well further down the chain. Starfall damage is good. Carol going to take 2. How does Jason close out this particular combat chain?
He's got enough for CNC. Does he have just CNC and then Arsenal?
And conquer one more time.
It's not going to get her done.
So Carol does have an option with the combo card if he wants to get
So
aggressive.
remember,
as
if he
Benji,
has
like
combo,
push
it's
that
plus
Tunic
2.
in, plus the card. But in this spot, he might just be happy with defending this out as well.
Nope.
Yeah, and he's going to give the full grip. It was
None of them have
all
combo.
2 blocks, but commits them all to the defense there.
Once that Arsenal.
Patient play from Carol.
That's good. That's good info for Jason.
Yep. Now that one's going to hurt a little bit for him. Like a really nice opportunity for him to take tempo there.
Yeah, you see him leaning back in his chair. He's like, oh, snap.
Seems not possible thus far, Jason. Sorry.
I think we might have
Right.
like snuck a few out of the
5
deck before we
card,
started.
but he does have a somersault in his hand. So is there something you can pair that with is the
So,
question.
Karen, you can cyber for you, right? Yeah, bro, no problem.
Playing this one.
Flittering
on the
charge
card.
with somersault is cool. Maybe. What's that card?
So 6 life behind, but like you mentioned.
Oh,
like, very
block
important,
time.
Particularly with this card.
Time
we're
to
gonna
suck
shock
out
and
some
kick
equipment
things
here.
off offering 1
Right, so it deals the
Arcane,
1 arcane which lands, and now he's
additional
threatening a
4
boom
on
grenade,
any hits that
basically.
may occur. Starfall.
Okay, so Starfall first.
Kicks things
Gotta,
off here with go again. Carol's going to want
gotta
to
block it inefficiently.
all over the place here. Does find a spot.
That's a
for his
3
2
block,
block.
and then
Full value,
he's
and it looks
burying,
like
I assume, for
strike coming down
5.
At 5 go again, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Looks like last card in hand is Snatch.
Yeah, and I was wondering if he is going to pick up the Shuko on this one.
We don't know if this is 5 or not,
Seems
but
like a good
I
opportunity.
assume it is.
To get some equipment involved. Has a flick flack again.
Oh, flick flack. That's his last flick flack. Okay,
And there's the
snatch.
Snatch. Do we have a combo card to go ahead and be paired with the flick flack? Yes, we do.
Oh, but the lightning press, master.
Press is
Oh,
ready out of the arsenal.
that's a lot. So that's 4 arcane, unless he's got the react.
At a critical moment for Jason. Lots of damage and arsenal
Got the
for
draw.
the next turn. Big
That
win
was
on
hot.
that turn cycle.
Massive.
was hot.
Got 6 damage and the card.
Carol been flush with defense reactions throughout this game.
Well, he's
and
playing 12 of them,
didn't have
Brian.
it There.
Okay, fine center. Yeah, it's a blue, so it goes. About time to find out what we got in our arsenal over here.
Does he have the disruption?
1
here?
float. I mean,
This
there's
really
no
wants
reason
like a
for Jason to
CNC.
block right now.
And he does have
It's a
it off
CNC.
the tunic resource.
Off the
offers
tunic.
CNC. Good
That's
time
hot.
for that.
And I like the way he did this because you can just CNC for 7 there, but because of the grasp, it probably doesn't make a huge difference. I think you just want to keep chipping the damage. Like you mentioned, life is actually starting to become very important for both players. So just picking up 2 cards here feels like a big win.
I agree with you, Classic.
Yeah, he must want what's in his arsenal here.
Yeah, he wants to really deny that on hit, keep Carol off an arsenal for the next cycle. I get it.
Ooh, it's going to pick up 3 cards here.
I think playing Tunic in this match against as Jason, I think
What I
playing
talked
Tunic's
about,
correct as
Jason's going,
Aurora
it's happening
because you know it's
again.
going to be longer value match, right? So
3 cards put back and forth on CNCs for both these players.
I like Kayo moving that mask up onto the combat chain.
Just let him know.
I'm really
Let him know
curious
it's
what
coming.
this card is in Arsenal, because there's argument that it's not worth protecting right now. But
Yeah, and he gives the 3 cards
oh,
here.
gave an arc lightning
but
bound.
has a
Oh yeah,
somersault.
2 non-attacks. I see.
Only getting one back,
Only
one card back.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's
That's
something.
a bummer. Yeah, so just throw in 4. Carol will take this, I think.
Just
No, he won't, because he only needs a 3-card hand, so he'll value block.
Now, if Jason has like, I don't know, I was going to say Lightning Valley, but that wouldn't do too much because it would die right away.
Yep. Initiative Carol.
Now, can Carol keep the disruption rolling? Because there's got to be an Arc Lightning coming up soon.
Yeah, I think he's got it. He's finally got an Arc Lightning in hand, as it in conjunction with what looked to be Burn Up Shock.
Yeah,
and
take it.
a couple others, not quite sure the rest of the texture, but Carol,
So
as Carol is wont to do.
I've always struggled with
kick
figuring out the
kicks
order
things
to
off with
play
Kodachis here.
burn up on an
2
arc
cards in
lightning
hand
turn, so
still,
I'm very
can
curious to
still
see
be
how the
offering some
experts here do
disruption
this.
on the back end.
Oh, is Jason actually considering defending this to stop the Mars trigger? Probably really doesn't want to do that if you have access to the Arc Lightning.
It's going to depend a lot on what that Arsenal card is.
Mhm.
How good is that card at contributing to a big Arc Lightning turn?
Yeah, and I mean, Jason did invest 3 cards into stopping it. It was a Mars trigger as well.
So Carol
does
has
indicate that it's
2
something he
in
wants to hold on to.
hand. 1 float. Ooh.
And potentially a Flickerbus. We did see him, I believe, pitch one earlier.
Is going to go ahead and defend
Okay.
this Kodachi. Looking to stop Mask. Torrent
Torrent of Tempo
to
on
follow
hit
here.
goes.
Just a 1 for 5 right now. Looks like it's getting more cards on
Oh,
the
he
defense,
threw the
and that's
burn
gonna
up.
Go ahead and end the turn here for Carol. Action passes back to Jason.
Pitches to... Is he making a rune chant? Yep.
Yeah, he is trying to set something up further down the deck, but that life total getting low right now.
So we've seen... So there's 1 arc on the bottom. We've already seen an arc get tossed on to defend the CNC, so...
Together, the Flickerbus with the Arc Lightning is very strong.
Yeah, that's what Carol's looking for
The
right
plays
now,
are
I
starting
think.
to like get through the
Does
deck.
Jason have that much time, though? That's the thing that's worrying me right now, and especially
Yeah.
knowing what Carol's deck is capable of, although we've seen Jason play around perhaps a Phantom Razor Reflex, so he may not know exactly what Carol's working with, but me knowing that he does have access to those looking for a scrap.
So
turn,
very
more
interesting
explosive
here.
turns, I'm a little afraid at that 15
4
line.
cards. So Ira a lot of times doesn't
Because I mean, Aria can
use a
easily
4-card
typically
hand
just
super
mid-range
effectively.
slower deck, but
So-
you can easily push out 15 damage plus on a turn.
Like that's why the Torrent of
It's gonna
Tempo
be
last
really
time was
critical
big
for
because
Carol
it
to
did threaten
leverage
that.
5 cards here.
Yep.
Is
Take
able
the
to seize
1.
full tempo.
Pitching 1.
Things
Oh,
off by
that's
pitching
big.
A sigil into the Kodachi.
Oh, that's
Not a great
big. Bad
start
hand by
thus far.
Carol here.
Yeah, I wonder if he's trying to hide a little bit of information here. Because this tells me either he's like very light on resources or he's trying to string together a very strong turn.
Okay, raise
it looks
face.
just like a
Yeah,
raise
just an
face.
all red
He's
hand. So
very
he's
light on
now
resources.
this matters from a lightning
Far too many
perspective.
reds. Erase face devastating against Aurora.
Well, it might not
See
be.
Jason choosing to bring in a few defense.
Yeah,
cards
he
as
okay.
matchups,
He's so we just saw
residual
he has Arc
sufferings.
in Arsenal.
We've seen at least one sink below. Looks like he does have another one in hand.
I don't know
A cold foil
because
sink below.
that looks for just right.
This
Arc
is
looks for
erase
just
face
goes.
7.
So I think he's just gonna value block
Awkward number.
because he's got a sink in his hand.
If you're in Jason's seat, you're trying to figure out.
I don't-
Can I play this turn?
I mean, we haven't seen
reasonably
all the cards. So
under
Gunna
erase
Flash
face?
doesn't
Or do I
care
just have to commit 2 big
in
cards
terms of
here?
lightning. I'm saying right. So he might not care if this
It's
hits.
one of those decks where it can be frustrating, the
Right.
erase face, because of trying to make the
Usually
embodiment
erase
feel
face is
starful.
huge, but he might not
But
care
if your
right
hand
now.
lines up, you don't necessarily always need it as well.
Really depends. It really depends on, like, are you trying to fuse on this turn? There's so many varying textures to Aurora hands.
Yeah, it's exactly what Brian just
See
said.
things,
Yeah.
see things like the Gone in a Flash as well. Like if you're just stringing together some sort of instant speed
Yeah,
turn
it's all
with that, it's kind of fine. But just the damage as well. I mean, you mentioned, is it going to have time to get back around to that pitch stack?
Okay, so it's a
think that's why he's
snatch.
thinking
So
about
I don't
bringing
think
uncertainty
he cares.
here.
So he's going to arc lightning. Snatch will get goes off the
Whether
arc
it's gonna be
lightning.
Accompanied by anything else.
It's the other card. Oh well, he has Gone in a Flash
Raise the
too,
sink.
or Gone in a Flash as well.
Carol happily
Bottomed. I think he
represents the
bottomed the
7
Gone in a
damage
Flash.
of
I
this
think
erase
is what he
face.
bottomed.
And Jason has been erased. Will tick up Tunic 2/3, has a
Okay,
critical resource.
but
right
yeah, he
here.
has. Yeah, exactly. He's got the resource on board. The big deal. Yeah, here we go.
Ooh,
Okay,
it is
so
gonna
every
come.
goes is a
Starting
ping.
things off
Yeah, I
with
see
that
Carol's face there.
powerful Specialization, Arc Lightning coming down.
Does he pitch to it? I think.
So
Nope,
guess
takes
we
it.
can see why
I mean,
he
there's an argument because
didn't wanna
again, you
commit
know
too
more's
fast
coming,
there.
so throw a blue at it. E strike bottoms. He'll go 7 here because it'll have goes off of
Plenty of Arcane being
off
offered.
of Arc Lightning. Okay,
Like
and then takes the
Snatch,
Arcane, so he's
Burn-Up,
taking
Shock
2
for the
Arcane and he's coming
remainder
for
of
7
Jason's hand.
goes. Or did he draw?
Yeah, so wouldn't be surprised to see something like the burn-up shock.
Oh, there's a
too.
burn-up
I suppose you can
shock.
stuff on this
Ooh.
turn with go again as well because of the erase face. That's actually quite relevant here.
Oh, so he took 5 draw. Okay, sorry, 5 draw with goes and then snatch.
Snatch. I
Okay,
think
so
for
he's
that
planning
reason,
on
Jason's
that
just
getting
gonna go ahead
blocked and then
push
he'll
that card over to the
Arsenal
next
to
turn
burn up
cycle,
shock.
Hold it in Arsenal.
Yep, so I think he'd love the card draw here to be able to set up that embodiment.
I think, yeah, Jason's expecting him to block the card draw. Oh, man, another D-Rack.
Cintauri,
Jeez,
yeah.
such value. Such value.
So again, I mean, at this moment, Carol choosing not to sink below, I feel he's got something he wants to play on this turn, like some sort of disruption or
Yeah, that would be the
pushing damage.
expectation.
Okay,
Does kick
so
things
let's
off
find
with
center
Kodachi.
0. Kodachi's goes. I mean, with the burn up shock on. Oh, he blocked it. Okay, blocked it for 1 with the grasp. Or did he not?
Jason committing a block early on, trying to avoid mask, it seems, one more time. And there's that looking for a scrap. At this moment, getting a little wide is Carol,
That is
and it's
very
when
hot,
Jason's
actually.
At 9 life. I think exactly what we talked about on the
That is
earlier
very
turns,
hot.
Karen. And now lethal is being offered via this snatch.
And you talked about it, Brian. You said like the life is going to matter once he starts finding he's looking for a scrap.
Very
turns, and this is
interesting.
1, 2, 3,
I
8,
kind of like
12
that
damage.
because you can block when they got combo,
And
the
also,
1-3
I
is
mean,
combo.
Threatening 2 draws.
Yeah, threatening 2 draws here. I mean, we've seen Carol put some sigils. He'd be a legend if he found that. He's going to get the tunic on 3 counters as well. That always hurts. That always hurts to do that.
Yeah,
Jason's
but
gonna
it
come
was
back
a
with
right.
4
I think it was a right
cards
play.
here. No
Yep.
blunting.
He wanted
effects,
that
nothing
one so
like
bad to
erase
be able to
face
pay
deal
for
with on this
Starfall.
turn.
Ugh.
Burn up shock. Now, will he use the tunic to prevent this? No, actually choosing not to. I did wonder if he might want to do that in order to defend with the tunic this turn.
Oh, that's a bummer. He definitely wanted the tunic for
Shockwave's gonna kick
Starfall
things
there.
off here. It is fused. But you
Does he have
heard
a
it from Jason
press?
himself.
He is sad.
Sad. Feeling very sad right now.
That's the thing. If he doesn't have this blue in turn, losing that tunic is massive because that would have enabled.
I did not
the
see his
Starfall
hand. Let me know,
shift down
chat.
and
Did
demand
you see a
another
press
card
in his
with
hand?
equipment to stop that burn up
I
shot.
think that's what Carol's looking for right now. I mean, but he's probably got D-Reacts. He's got
Carol does
12
not trust
D-Reacts.
him in the least.
So yeah, no go again on the Arcanic Shockwave.
And they're both in hand, so yeah, it doesn't do him any
If he
good,
ripping
though, to
something
pop
like
boots, because it
lightning
costs a
boots
resource to pop boots, so.
Sigil may be another option.
Yep. Just the fact that he chose not to defend with additional card to keep that tunic up to offer the Starfall as well. I mean, I guess he doesn't have go.
Throws
again, so it
mask.
doesn't matter
That's
that much.
well, I guess it doesn't
Gonna
matter
get a
much now.
block from the mask.
It is a
and
press.
Well read once again.
Does
by
Carol have the
Carol.
D? He does. He's got
It
the
is
D.
the press.
12
Carol's ready to go
D-Reacts.
with the defense
Jesus.
reaction. Fate Foreseen going to come down and cover. Does a little opting. Carol
Impressive.
At a healthy
Very
11
impressive.
To Jason's 4, and now
Looking for a scrap.
one
That
more
is
time
hot.
looking for a scrap comes in.
He
and
better hope he's got
gets
one.
Wide on a big turn for Carol.
That
There
is
could be
so
Kodachi
much value.
follow-up as well.
Just want to point out, we'll see what he's got to follow up here. Pretty cool just heads up play from Carol there, choosing to defend with the mask. Oh, so he's actually pitching to represent lethal. I love this, to strip the
Ugh.
card. But actually choosing to defend with the mask means
This is all
realizing
over.
that it overblocks by 1.
It's
but that tunic
all
is gonna
over.
Be representing like at least 2 damage.
can't.
With the
You
Kodachi
can't.
looking
For
for a
sure.
scrap.
Makes a lot of sense. Jason desperate for some offense here.
Oh, Lightning Valley. He's got a pitch.
Lightning Surge.
Is that not Lightning Valley in his hand?
Oh,
It is,
okay.
yeah.
Channel Lightning Valley is a nice play.
Do you reckon he still thinks it's the easiest game of his life?
Not anymore. He is fully regretting
Pitch to
his
swing
disdain for
to
the
keep
Polish
Lightning Valley
professional
around, sure.
community At this moment, he knows they will be hunting him till the end of time. And he has proven himself an easy mark.
Now, for all the players who played back in the early days of Blitz when Aria was the thing, we're about to witness the much loved Kodachi lock.
This is a nightmare scenario.
All right, the Arsenal.
For Jason.
Yeah, I mean you can't get down here with Kodachi's. Yeah.
So Carol just needs sort of one blue here to start stripping multiple cards. But
Yep. Oh, and he's got. Oh my God, he's got a spring. Oh, sorry, that's right. I thought it was springboard. That's rising knee. My bad. Okay, so he's on 4. He's on 12D reacts. Three copies. No springboard. Flicker Wisp. Okay, going to 1. I mean,
Carol is now disappointed by the way he is winning.
That's when you know things are looking up.
Crane dance.
Oh, I see what he's annoyed about.
Oh, he wants the full combo.
So if he hadn't blocked with a fine center, he could have gone Tide Flippers into the fine center for lethal, and that would have been a highlight way to win. So I feel your pain, Carol, as a flashy player myself. Yep.
He's heartbroken by the fashion in which he will eventually win this game.
Yeah.
Seemingly, he's in a very advantaged position.
Blocking 3 on it.
Oh,
Yep,
so he's
Tide
actually gonna
Flippers,
commit the,
which takes his Arcane away for
very
whatever that's
small
worth.
amount of risk here, and that. Yeah, nice one, Carol.
Okay.
So in terms of very,
Heaven's
very
Claw is doing
small
work
amount
with
of
3
risk, I
block.
think you're going to lock them out anyway, but you actually don't have Arcane Barrier anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why he was just looking at the Brune Chant, figuring that's going to draw Jason.
No
a card.
AB. So, because he'll get a card draw here, right? Because of the guaranteed AB hit. So, or Arcane hit, you know what I mean?
So we did see him pitch the Flicker Wisp and the Arc Lightning together. He did just defend with the Flicker
But
Wisp.
can
so
he
potentially
do it
an Arc
without
Lightning
taking the
coming up, but
effective
Carol's
IP?
actually
Lightning
put himself
Valley.
in a
Oh,
very
he'll
small
get 2
amount of danger
cards?
here, because if he can't, I mean, he's probably going to strip 3 cards. But you know, if he gets caught up a little bit,
Yeah, it's hard for him to get caught up though. As long as
doesn't
he
have an action
finds
point, though.
0 cost basically to start things with Kodachis, I think he will be okay.
Pitch. Oh, we're going. He got the instant.
Oh, here's the Lightning Greaves.
oh, and
Sigil
the
comes out.
Sigil.
This is actually big.
That's pretty
Oh, that
huge.
fine center block might come back.
Is
to
Brian
going
going to be casting another game where Sigil of Solace makes a difference? That's the real question. Now he's got Starfall, and then he still has one in the cannon. Got one in the
And
got
now
one in the
lethal being
cannon.
presented by Jason.
Well,
Gonna get the tunic here.
well.
So he can probably strip back. So he's going to be able to strip back 3 cards here.
I mean, he's
think
he's still
gonna
really
lock him out
good in
game, but, like,
position
I think he's
here.
going to end up fatigued basically.
But he doesn't have to
Well,
block
actually,
the first
I mean, no, he's
Kodachi
not
now.
gonna strip 3 cards because Jason's on 4 life here. He's only going to get 1 card out of him. And does he have the Arc Lightning?
Yeah, he'd bleed that for sure.
Oh no, that's such
Oh, he's got Electri. He's got Electri. Oh, he's got Arc Lightning in hand.
We could be in for a bit of a thriller in this game.
We may have
It's Aurora time.
overestimated Jason's demise in this case. Things have turned very, very
Is that
rapidly.
electromagnetic too? Oh
You can see
man.
the regret on Carol's
Yeah, look,
face.
I saw a little turn of the head there.
Because if he finds the Arc Lightning now, it's probably lethal.
I don't think he found it on this turn cycle. That
Doesn't he?
means it
Does he
comes
not
on
have the Arc
next
Lightning?
turn cycle. Oh no, is that
he
it right
does.
there?
That's it, right? Or is that a shock? Or is that a shockwave?
I'm
I
pretty
can't
sure
tell.
Sigil Suffering in hand as well, which would draw him a card off the Channel Lightning Valley and deal 1 arcane damage.
I think that's the arc.
That's what I said. The Tide Flippers could.
Okay, blocks
could come
2
through
with
great
flittering.
with that.
I don't see a sigil in hand.
He didn't bounce
Oh, I
it.
may have
That's
missed
the
it.
missing part.
It
Yeah,
is. It
it's
is
gonna
Arc
be
Lightning.
Arc Lightning though.
Woo!
Into gone in a flash.
No
I
AB.
just can't quite make out that last card in hand.
So what's it going to draw him?
He's got Lightning Valley on the table.
So there's a lot of arcane damage. Now, Carol did pitch a Sigil earlier,
I think Carol's dead.
but without that,
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
he's in a world of
He
pain.
grasps and then throws 1. Starfall. That'll come in for
There's the
1,
split damage
and then he'll get
once
1.
more.
Jason takes it down. Aurora.
Died.
Oh no!
Okay, look. I understand that we called this one a little early. I think this may have been an unforced error on Carol's part.
That's
Oh, Jason.
He may
phenomenal.
have
What a
left
game.
himself A little bit more
That was
vulnerable
awesome.
than he needed to be, and you see the regret.
That was awesome.
The entire nation of Poland has been let down. You let this man step onto the couch and talk trash about the entire country, and Carol could not defend for his homeland.
Right, I actually forgot about the Sigil, but that's why I was saying when the Tide Flippers got committed there, it actually opened up a path for Jason to win this game because
Yeah, no, I have no idea. He's just laughing. Look at him. That's hilarious, dude.
Why? Why would I do this?
and that's
Carol, I don't know.
that's
I don't
such,
know.
that's such an old school play.
That's
from way,
phenomenal.
Way back when it's the crane dance into previously Snapdragon Scale.
Dude, I do love this combo 0-3 thing.
That you
Or
kind
sorry,
of forget about
1-3.
it, but
0-3
yeah,
defense,
he-
but with a 1
Carol
for the looking
pointed
for
to it, and
scrap.
if
That's pretty hot.
like the Fine Cinder, because Jason had no equipment blocks up left. There was just nothing that could defend that. They was just coming in for lethal. It was before the
Use that
Sentinel.
extra resource.
Hitting
Ooh,
the
I like
Tide
it.
Flippers, opening himself up to
I
the
like it
arcane
a
damage
lot.
pathway.
I'm not sure if Carol's going to be able to make it back to the couch safely. He may need a little bit of a cooldown period before
move us
he's
back
back
here
and
first.
ready to resume his casting
There we
duties.
go.
We are going to take a little bit of a break.
Oh,
We're going to
kidding
talk
me?
a lot of trash to Carol while we're on break. I promise. Just loads and loads of trash will be spoken. But it sounds like we are ready to announce the winner from our last giveaway. So, Alex, if you got that for us, why don't we go ahead and see who will be taking home that beautiful uncut sheet. Lots of nice stuff in there. And it's going to be King's Table. Congratulations, King's Table. Beautiful, perfect answer. Earned yourself an uncut sheet of Rosetta with some stunning legendaries and majestics on it. So congratulations. And it sounds like you're going to hear from our producer, Alex. They're going to let you know all the details. He's going to come on stream right now. So, Alex, go ahead. The floor is yours.
What up, what up? All right, King's Table, if you can just send an email, please, to
King's Table, wow.
creators@fabtcg.com with a screenshot of your account so we can verify that it is, in fact, you. And your shipping details will get that beautiful uncut sheet shipped right out to you. So, yeah, creators@fabtcg.com. That's the email. Just send us your details and we'll get you all sorted out.
Well,
Hello,
somebody
Alex.
just won
It's,
some sweet
King's
swag.
Table. My address is the Dev Room.
Do not trust that voice in your ears, Alex. I've learned to never, ever listen to that voice.
It's done you well.
Yeah. We will be hearing from the voice of Carol and Jason, though. We're going to get them sorted back on the couch. We're going to take a brief break, get everything set back up, and we'll be back with more from our 5th anniversary stream in just a few minutes.
A break. A break. This thing's going to take like 5 hours. I don't know that I have 5 hours in me. I got family dinner at 5 o'clock, so. Is anybody still on? Is anybody still listening? The internet says so, but no comments. Sarah, you still here? You off playing? So this is interesting. Let me see if I can, let me see here if I can pull up, and I'll go through my IRA list, but I'm gonna try to not break like the world here when I do this. I might actually break it for a bit, but that's okay. This is what I've been working on for now. Give me a sec. Just give me a sec to get pulled up. That's very interesting with, I don't hate that with looking for a scrap. You know what, let's add another. Give me a sec. Just hang out with me while I do this. I'll get her done. See? There we go. Oh, we're counting down. We might not have time. Anyway, this is what I'm looking at right now. And I'll make this go away when they come back. So I'm playing just straight up value. I was not on 12. Was I? Was I on 12? 1, 2. And I think Flickflack's in the sideboard, I think. Oh no, I have taken it. Sorry, that all you got is in the sideboard. That's right. So yeah, you see stuff like Take the Tempo, Torn the Tempo. I actually play Water the Seeds because you can come in with it second, but looking for a scrap seems like the Windmill Slam in there. That seems pretty right. Interesting. Other than that, I think they weren't playing Flying Kick. I did see them play Flex Claws, which I think is correct, because you can threaten that first and then come in with the Tiger. I don't think they were playing... I mean, the Concealed Blade we'll pull out. With the Looking for Scrap play, we can adjust, right, and use. So 100 wins is still good for that. I was playing Stab Wound, so I'm playing a bunch of the, you can see here, right, I'm playing like the 2s, right, so I was playing Rathe Locals, Soul Bead, Stab Wound, Winds, just for all 3 blocks with 2 attack, with some sort of relevant on hit for some of them, or relevant on block, like for Rowdy. That is very interesting with looking for a scrap. That seems pretty good. Because that would come in for 1/5, 1/6, depending on the order. All right, we're back. I will.
Nice play,
How you doing, bud?
Stop that.
I just want to say the better player won for sure.
I agree. We were.
Congratulations to Jason. I can't play without my morning coffee.
It's not often that I beat Carol, but when I do, it's definitely on stream. I just want to say 3.5 years of playing with Takesies, Backsies, and just rewinding the game states kind of shows, when you're live on stream, the pressure gets to you, and I definitely made some mistakes.
Well, you only let down the entire nation of Poland, so that's not a huge deal. It's not like it's a giant country with huge swaths of fans that look up to you or anything like that. So
consider you an icon of the game.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
But one thing I want to say is Ira can win.
Oh, for sure.
Play Ira correctly.
For sure.
I just hope that the people who watched and are fans of Ira, like that hero packs a punch in CC. So
you were reaching up for the trophy, you're like, and then you stumble on the last step, and it's like, oh no!
And then Arthur Trahay slapped his hand away and gave me that sigil.
Yeah, that sigil showed up at a good time, as they're often doing. And I do think your deck did a really nice job of showing off looking for a scrap, because we talked about it from the beginning. Like, there was going to be this point, you were just like leaking damage here and there, and at some point I was like, these looking for scraps are going to be huge. They're going to be massive in terms of stealing the tempo, and it did in that moment. It just didn't quite capitalize once the tempo was stolen. Cool game. A game I really enjoyed a lot. I think y'all are going to enjoy playing Ira at your local game stores around the world. I hope when we head out to Osaka, and the first event where Ira is ever legal is that calling that weekend.
That's going to be hype.
I'm already expecting big things. I can't wait to see some Iras down there in the feature match area at that calling.
And don't be like Carol, don't be a little bit off balance. He didn't quite find his center that game.
That's why I'm catching up on my coffee now.
Yeah, Sarah, I'm not playing Flick Flex. I was playing. I'm not playing but mini combo cards.
Something cool. I think it's time for us to check in.
But I think we could definitely
with our
switch
viewers.
that.
We're going to check in with the chat, do a little bit of voting. It's coming up on election season.
Voting?
Yes, I do not want to talk about that. But I do want to talk about Flesh and Blood, and we're going to vote between 2 options here.
Right.
And
I'll do my
what we're
best
gonna do is
to. We'll do the DC
put out a
poll.
guess who we think is going to win these polls, and maybe we could share a bit about our own predilections. But ultimately, our job is to decide who's going to be
See how
the
fast I
winner.
can get it turned
And
around
so
here.
our first split question here, it is a very simple one. Are you Team Earth or are you Team Lightning? Put it out in chat now. I believe Alex is putting up a poll for y'all to vote in, so we'll go ahead and let that run for a little while. I gotta say, we kick things off in Rosetta season in the limited space, owned by Team Earth for sure.
All right, poll is up for the
Really good
DC
brilliance,
folks.
across those first few limited events. Just, I think, outperformed the Lightning Heroes pretty soundly. I think that gap is narrowed. I think people have
Give me your
learned
votes.
really, really well how to pick up those Lightning
Give me your
Heroes.
votes.
But no doubt, round 1 went to Team Earth. When we got to CC, I think it's a different story. And sure, it's on the back of Aurora. Acilio's still figuring some things out right
Oh, we're
now.
100% Lightning.
But Aurora looks like maybe the best deck in the format. Like, I think that's fair to say.
Absolutely.
Carol thinks it's fair to say.
It's just the power level is there. I mean, you don't even really have to think. You just got to play.
Whoa.
Okay. Still getting some shots in. After getting demolished on stream, still finds a way.
Seriously,
throw your cards.
Best performing deck in Classic Constructed in the first week.
Yep.
Closely followed by Florian.
Oh, now we got some Earthers.
Florian-
Now we got some
Florian
Earthers.
best deck, people are just
Flat Earthers,
sandbagging
as it may be.
baseless
The people are picking Team Lightning for sure. Alex, you got results first?
Team Earth.
I'm going Team Lightning for sure.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna let it come through. We'll find out who in fact won this one. I just have to
I'm just
go
gonna
with
vote
my-
myself.
Yeah, get
Team Lightning, what?
Yeah, I gotta vote.
No, you guys can't use your phones. We're on stream. That's unprofessional.
Yes!
Takes it down.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's
Earth wins.
3% Team Earth.
All right.
Okay.
Vote.
I am
DC,
disappointing.
67%.
In connection with reality, but you know that's the way chat goes sometimes.
There are many Earth fans.
No way. I haven't posted the results yet. I ended the
how
poll.
about our
I
next
thought.
poll?
But we were
voting on
67%.
for this next go around. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about start of match procedure. Of course, we need to determine who is going to be going first or second in a game of Flesh and Blood, and there's two widely used methods of doing so: high roll, odds or evens. Who you got, Carol? Which way is your preferred method?
Well, it is obviously the most efficient way to go is odds or evens because you don't have to reroll. Everybody knows that. So I'm locking in odds or evens.
Why would you waste your time by rerolling?
I am a high roller.
I did a high roll a
Pun
few
intended.
times, and I got
Okay, what do we think?
so mad. when we
Let me know your votes for the DC.
I like to take 5 dice, you roll them one by one, and the person who wins. No. Odds or evens, but I always odd. I always lock an odd no matter what.
Always odd. We are odd.
Yeah, you odd or even? You're even.
I'm an evens kind of
Yeah.
guy.
When you start to play in Div, you start to pick up who's odd or even.
You need to have an even balance in Div.
What about you?
Exactly.
Brian?
Look, man, life is a journey.
Oh no!
Oh no! Beautiful tapestry
I'm
of
getting
experiences.
pinged by
and
work, folks.
You're
I'm
just
gonna
always
have to
looking to maximize your time.
go here
You're
shortly.
not stopping and smelling the roses. Sometimes I just want to battle and see who can roll the highest number on a die.
Well, there could be a
It just
lightning
feels
brute,
good.
Sarah. You don't know.
If we have
You
to do it
don't
2
know.
or 3 times, so
Lightning
what?
brute?
We have time. It's fine. We'll go ahead.
Seems like Earth
We'll
brute.
high roll and we'll figure out a winner. Chat's gonna hard disagree.
Oh, you're talking high roll. No.
I'm expecting an
never
odds
mind.
or
I was on the
evens
last one. High roll.
landslide win from chat this go around. Let's hear it. Who do we have?
What?
It's high roll.
Yeah, of
Chat,
course
I
it's
knew
high
I
roll.
always liked you. I've always been pro chat. I've always said the internet knows what
Yeah.
they're talking about.
We
Listen
are
to them.
100%,
Always.
100% high roll.
Wow, decided
Whenever I
win.
go
With
to
one
an
vote, though,
armory
so,
or any other card game tournament, it's always high roll. No one. Ever
Thank you,
does
Sarah.
odds or evens.
Thank
And
you,
when I'm
Sarah,
like,
for
odds or
floating our
evens,
poll.
They're like, what? High roll?
A lot of smart people play card games.
High rolls though, but like
the opposite.
I feel like Brian's one of those people like when you're rolling for intimidate for choosing at random. You know, you lay the forward cards out. I hate seeing this, and it's like roll. It's a 5. I guess a reroll. 6 reroll.
Let's do it again.
It's a
Run
rich.
it back.
It's a rich tapestry.
You get it. You get it, Classic. I knew you would have my back. Shout outs to chat for having my back.
We got your
Let's
back,
say
Ryan.
for
It's high
once.
roll.
For
I did the
once, you
same.
stepped up for me, chat. Good to hear.
Internet supporting me.
It feels good. I like this. Let's keep this as a trend. How about another poll? Who are we voting on next? Oh, fist bump or handshake as
Oh,
your
it's-
congratulatory measure.
It's the
What did you guys
fist
exchange
bump
at the end
now,
of that
but-
last match? Disdainful look.
I feel like if only Sarah's voting,
I
my
feel like
typing
when
is
the
going in
stakes are
vain.
higher,
But
it's worth a handshake. But after COVID, I think it's just fist bump is the norm.
Yeah, I think honestly, it kind of.
Handshake became quite an intimate kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
gesture
yeah,
these days,
exactly.
Especially after COVID. You know,
because
so
I feel
they've sanitize everyone out there.
It's interesting. I think you're right though. I feel like I have seen in like top 8s and stuff like that. You know, like before a pro tour final. I've sometimes seen them like just reach across and like maybe it's
Fist
the
bump or
importance of the
handshake,
moment,
DCT
whereas
folks.
like your average game is just the fist bump.
Commandos, I should say.
And when you're in the finals, you upgrade it to a hug.
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like, that
do a
is
hug.
true.
Yeah,
I've
so you
seen
just,
that
like,
a
go
lot
up.
actually. And
Yeah, I'm kind of about that, so it's cool.
Okay, I like this progression method. I think the more casual interactions, you just do it with a fist bump. It gets
Yeah,
the job
Swiss
done.
rounds, fist bump, all good.
Okay. How do you think chat's gonna fall on this one?
I reckon
Feels like fist bump should be
gotta be.
large in the lead.
I think fist bump and you know
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
What has
I think
changed
fist bump
in
will
many
win
ways,
this one. I
mostly
agree.
around handshaking.
I reckon before 2020 it would be handshake.
Okay.
maybe we should have like, the elbow tap in there.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Here's. We'll up this question. We'll bring higher stakes into it. Who offers? Does it have to be the loser who offers the fist bump or handshake?
I think that should be the winner. You know, you're a good winner.
But aren't I rubbing it in your
Yeah.
face?
It's weird. I feel like for handshake, it's like the winner that offers the handshake, but for loser,
I think you're taking it too deep.
All right. What does chat have to say? Where did they fall?
yeah.
A huge win for fist bump. 87%. Yeah. I'm
All right,
with you,
ending the
chat. Good
poll.
decision
Let's see if
once
there's.
more.
It was just
All right,
you,
our
Sarah.
next
It was just
poll
you,
here.
Sarah.
Deck vertical versus deck horizontal. Is this like some kind of psyop to find out who's insane in the chat? Because anyone voting for deck horizontal has clearly
There's
lost their mind.
boxes on
Clear
the
deck vertical.
table.
Ergonomic thing.
Wait, are you vertical? Wait, you horizontal?
I'm horizontal.
Yeah.
Horizontal.
I'm always horizontal
Look
because
at the playmat.
I'm actually a
It works.
30-degree
We found
angle.
the crazy person.
I
immediately.
I feel this actually stems from my early days of Fab with like the whole pitch deck.
Yeah, I mean,
cards
you're
on the
not
bottom.
wrong, Sarah.
I feel when I played it
You're not
vertical,
wrong.
sometimes I'd confuse myself. And like when I'm putting the cards back on the bottom, I'd put them the wrong way, which is obviously like very bad. You know, like
unfortunately,
that is cheating. Like do not
I'm gonna have to go here.
do not do this. So
Wait. Why does horizontal solve?
Had my fun for 2 hours.
No, so if I put it
Time to go back to
horizontal,
real
I
work.
feel it's just it's more clear. You know,
So it
like,
doesn't, is
Let's see what they go to
Yeah,
here
so
after
then
the
I'm like, oh,
28.
The big dragon pointing one way or another. That's not enough to tell you which way you're supposed to do it.
Because when it's like
Bummer,
up
I
or
was
down,
hoping to
it
hang
could
out
just
for the
go
James
wherever,
stuff.
but
I
when
did
it's
not
like,
expect this to go
flip
so
and
long.
Slide horizontal, and then when you're like drawing the card, there's no chance of them seeing it or whatever. Whereas you're just like.
I want to see what they
flipping
go
up
to
the cards
here.
willy-nilly with its horizontal.
I like the like.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
nah.
I am a 30-degree diagonal deck layer outer.
Do you have a protractor? Do you bring a protractor with you?
No,
at
it's
every
just
event?
30 degrees. It's perfectly ergonomic.
Yeah, that deck orientation.
Perfectly ergonomic.
Diagonals a step too far. Step too far, but horizontal, I'm all about that.
Okay.
Heard about the
hear
ergonomics
from
of drawing
the
your
very
cards. You're
same
playing way
people
too many games, but he is a
in chat.
dev. So
Where are they at? What are they like?
Surely.
Right,
Listen
what's
to
the answer?
follow the playmat.
Yeah, vertical wins. 80%. Yeah,
I mean,
not even close.
It doesn't surprise
yeah, I mean,
me.
there's literally a box on the
I
table.
will say
Like,
one thing about horizontal, as displayed in this photo, it can kind of like get in the way of your pitch zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're playing like
It
in
just
close
clearly
proximity-
does not fit on the playmat. I don't understand
Like-
how this is a discussion. It does not fit. It's
I'm
not
in
in the
Brian's
box.
camp.
Listen, man, when you get RSI from drawing cards, you know.
I'm gonna ask for. I guess I'm gonna ask for like
I got a doctor's note. I have to play.
maybe
If you have a doctor's note, I'll allow it. That's the
maybe
rule.
from the creative team a custom playmat for me where like the deck zone is horizontal.
Yeah, I want one that's 30 degrees as well.
Okay.
That's an interesting idea. Like special edition playmats that have the horizontal.
Jason Lai edition where it's just slightly
like
tilted.
on that angle.
Ergonomic arrangements. Okay, here's one that I think is.
we're at 0.
A very
so.
good faith question. Is blocking cards horizontal or blocking cards?
Oh, this is a good question.
I will be honest. I don't care about this one. I think both have merits.
I block
But
horizontal.
For me, it never crossed my mind to put my blocking cards horizontal. I just defaulted them to vertical with no thought.
But
The more I played, the more I observed people doing it
I do admit,
horizontal, and I was
this
like,
is learned. It was
I
not
kinda like
natural.
that. Like it makes sense.
I
to me.
learned
so
to
my
do
natural
this.
inclination is just
So.
put my cards down vertically. But having seen a lot of horizontal, I think there's merit to it.
So I have a very good reason why I block horizontally, and I know people hate, not vertical blocking, but the defense value is the closest to the opponent's card, so it's easier to just coordinate rather than having to read across two cards.
I never thought of that. I always block horizontal. I never.
Yeah,
thought
I mean,
of that.
most of us in our
now,
play
it's
groups
just a
area,
better
we do
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
horizontal.
I
It's
just
just the
think
way we
it's
do it.
just
It doesn't
to-
mean it's
I
right
don't
or
know,
wrong.
to
It's just
particularly when combat changes get a bit messy.
That's
or
what I
whatever,
like.
To distinguish cards, it's
Yeah.
like these cards horizontal are the defending cards, and your ones
right.
vertical.
It provides
Everything
distinction.
should be
I like it.
Can't go that far, but okay.
But I have noticed, like, it's quite cool watching the different ways people play. Like, some people, out of maybe an abundance of courtesy, actually, like, flip their attack.
Oh, the timer's going
other
again.
ways. The text is facing you if you need to read
Does
it.
the timer mean? Oh, it's
Yep,
on their
I
poll.
personally
I'm an
do
idiot.
that.
The timer's on their
It's kinda
poll.
cool.
I'm
It
sorry.
just seems like a
Not for the
sort of,
segment.
polite
I'm an
thing to
idiot.
do, but I'm always horizontal. What are so you don't care? What do you, Carol?
So I usually block horizontally, like when working on dev.
The
and stuff
nickname
like
game,
that,
and then a
on
commoner,
stream,
and then James. So I
after
might be able to be
the
back for
latest
that. But, so
feedback.
tell you what, I am gonna.
Giving me
I'm sorry,
grief
folks.
for
This is,
blocking
but it's
horizontally. I
life.
try to
Believe
do
me, I do
that.
not want to be working on a Sunday, but that's
I think
my
it's
life.
going. I
So
think the answer is going to be
thank you
vertical,
all
but I
so
will say
much.
I'm
I'm gonna
all
go
on board
get
with
work
horizontal, if that's your thing.
figured
I
out,
expect chat to go
and
for it.
like either
thank you
or.
all so much. I'll be back
Let's hear it from chat.
for the
Let's see
James
what they
thing.
like.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
It also kind of